Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. This week brought to you by Airspace.
Testing.
And
Testing.
Mic check.
Thanks to our sponsors for sponsoring this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast. I'm Gus.
Gavin.
Barbara.
Burnie.
Gus.
Hey.
Gavin.
We're getting fast at those intros.
What?
You can't do that.
I just was
Thanks
excited
everyone
about
for
the
joining
camera.
us on this 393rd Rooster
You know
Teeth
the
podcast.
number?
I do.
What's up with that?
We were talking
You must
about
have looked it up or something.
Nope. What? Did I? No? Did I?
No, you and I were talking about the number today.
We were. That's how I knew it.
There's no way Bernie knows that off the top of his head. He always asks me, and he always gets it wrong.
I do. I would have guessed probably today I said like, 360? I know we passed 350. I know the last big milestone we passed. But 400's coming up soon. We should maybe think about doing something.
It's
for that.
on Halloween.
Our
No, fuck
400th?
Yeah.
Ah, sweet.
I think
Wait, is that a Monday?
I sent you an email saying we should do something on it, and then you never replied.
Is the podcast on a Monday?
Is that-
Did you really ask that
you-
question?
No,
fucking-
the
see how he fucking
31st.
deflects?
I didn't realize Halloween
I
was
sent
on
him.
a
I sent him
Monday.
this
I don't
email
wanna ignore
2 months
Barbara's
ago,
comment.
saying
I
that
wanna make
400
sure-
is going to be on Halloween, and he's fucking ignoring it still.
Well, here's the thing about the podcast.
She asked, is that on a Monday,
No.
Halloween? So I had to come to that.
The podcast comes out on 3 different days. Monday it's live streamed, Tuesdays it's out for first members, and then Wednesday it's out for everyone. So
Oh, that
that's a
makes
fair
sense.
question. So
It's on
fuck you.
Monday. We live stream
Just
on
kidding,
Monday.
I love you.
So what were you saying, Gus?
That we should do something on Halloween.
We should do something.
Yeah.
You should wear costumes.
You want to dress up?
I might not be able to attend.
Why's that?
I got kids. It's Halloween. Halloween's a kid's
They're
holiday.
old enough they can trick or treat themselves.
Trick or treat.
Yeah, just give them a dozen rotten
Trick or treat
eggs and some
yourself.
toilet paper
Yourself.
and be like,
That's exactly
have
what
it,
it
have at it. They're at the age, right? They're fucking
Well,
getting into mischief on Halloween.
JD won't want to go. JD's at that age. You reach a tipping point as a teenager when you still want the candy, but you don't want to dress up, and you see those fucking teenagers walking around.
Yeah.
Like, what are you dressed as? Oh, I'm dressed as a teenager. Haha. It's like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not giving you any goddamn candy. I think that JD might be at that age, but Teddy's still like, he's down with the costumes.
How tall is JD, though?
God, he's taller than his mom now. So he's about 5'4", 5'5" now.
Okay.
Yeah.
He could probably
picked-
still pass as a younger kid.
Oh, he can. Yeah,
Yeah.
he probably could. Yeah.
Put a mask on. It's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Although that's
I
pretty dangerous.
I picture Teddy like a chipmunk when it comes to candy, just like stuffing his cheeks with like Jolly Ranchers.
JD was especially proud because he likes to have a scary costume that people react to. And one year he had a costume that I don't even know how to describe it. I think I talked about it when he wore it because we would have had the podcast at that point in time. But it was basically just a black cloak. That was it, all tattered at the ends of the arms and at the bottom by his feet. And then it was a black, like a nylon mask that just like was a blank over the top of his head. So it was this black cloak, black face. You couldn't see anything. And then he had these goggles he wore underneath these glasses that were these big red circles eyes. So it had this. It looked like the world's most evil Jawa. And
Isn't that like a character in that game Journey that looks like that?
it looks a little bit like that, but it's all black. Like the thing in
Okay.
Journey wears red.
Right.
And that actually looks more like a Jawa, that thing. But we went to a house and there was a little kid, like 3 years old, 4 years old, tiny little kid dressed as Superman. And JD's walking up the sidewalk to go to that door, and that little kid turns around to come down. Kid freaks out, runs down the length of the porch. It was like the whole length of the house, and jumps off into a bush. Like literally, and that's like JD's happiest
Did he jump
memory.
like Superman? Did he dive like he was gonna fly?
No,
Or
he
was
just like totally ate shit into the bush.
He screamed too?
Yeah, he was crying the whole way.
That
So
makes it so much better.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I love it.
I was on a flight with a crying baby just recently.
Did it make you not want to have any more kids?
No, I like kids a lot, and I can actually like tune that stuff out. If there's a crying baby on a plane, this was one kid that I couldn't tune out though, mainly because I was in the same row as the kid, but I wasn't like on the same side of the aisle, so I was like looking across, and they didn't get a seat for the kid. There
So it was on the
there was
lap?
2 seats on that side of the plane, and it was the 2 parents, and they were kind of passing the kid back and forth, and it was an overnight red-eye flight coming back from Seattle from PAX, and the kid was just miserable the whole time.
Was it
feel
like
like-
screaming, crying? Or
Yes, like not just screaming, like almost like tantrum, yelling at the parents, and like couldn't articulate. At one point, he's hitting the dad when he's trying to comfort the
Why
kid.
can't you just hang kids from the ceiling in planes?
What's that? Well,
You know how they
like,
have
kill
those
them?
things that, like the harness, and they just be like hanging from the.
what, like your Dead by Daylight game?
They don't
like
even
a
let
meat
your
hook?
seat be tilted back an inch on takeoff and landing. You think they're gonna let a baby hang from the
It'd
top?
be
I
wicked.
know what you mean, like a
It'd be fun.
little bouncy harness thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that'd be fun. They'd really love turbulence.
It'd be awesome. Elastic.
Probably hit its
Oh, that
head
one thing
on
they
the
bounce in
top.
the doorway?
exactly.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Those things are great. I want one of those for adults. I would love one of those elastic chairs and like jump around
it
in
would
it.
hurt your junk, I think.
Nah.
Then let's eat a hole.
You should tuck it.
How much
I learned
did
how to tuck really well when we did laser team. You just.
how much did that harness hurt you when we went ziplining on your junk?
It wasn't bad, but the guides were very nice because I was about to go down the zip line at one point, and the male guide goes, hey, Burnie. He goes, tighten your leg straps on this one. Tighten your leg straps. And I was like, oh, thanks. Because if you tightened it around your thighs, it wouldn't go up and like give you the mush.
Yeah, but
mush
isn't that
pinch.
worse though? Wouldn't it like
Mush.
push one of your arteries closed? If it
It's
too
really
Your
Wow.
tight?
arteries are deep in your leg.
Would you rather push your artery closed or push your dick closed?
Or your balls?
Or your balls? Yeah, that's even worse.
Sounds hot.
Artery for a
Yeah.
little while. You can do it.
What did he say? Something about like make sure all the furniture's in the same room?
Yeah.
Or something like that?
Because when you tighten your leg straps, make sure all the furniture is in the same room.
Yeah.
It was fun.
That was
You
a
guys
good-
should totally go do that.
that's a
Why'd you
great
do
one.
that?
What?
Why?
We did it for the vlog. Barbara and I went out to go talk about her show Always Open, which
So you
is,
just decided to zip line while you did it?
well, the reason I
he's
know
like
that
fun.
the reason I know that exists is because Ashley and I did it to prepare for the Amazing Race. I don't really know what a zip line prepares us for, but we just went out and did remember this?
Yeah.
You guys used to talk about it. Ashley. We wouldn't tell anybody what we were doing, but all of a sudden we were doing all this stuff. Like we were zip lining and rock wall climbing,
Bouldering.
Thank you, Gus. That's
on.
the word I
We
was
learned
looking
that
for.
on the podcast.
Bouldering.
Oh,
So
from Blaine?
do you not do that stuff anymore?
Yeah, we do. Well, I just went ziplining.
No,
clearly.
I mean with Ashley. Are you just like now that you're done with your Amazing
Oh,
Race,
that's
you
old
just
hat now.
sit at home and read?
No, yeah. Dude, she reads a lot, though. She reads like a book and a half a week.
Damn.
Yeah. She kind of puts me to shame. I thought I was a big reader. She's like constantly reading.
Start book club.
Yeah. Her big deal is when she starts a series, she doesn't want to start a series that's in progress because Game of Thrones burned her on that. So
Fair enough.
What does that mean?
she wants to make sure if she's starting a book and it's a 9-book series, that book 9 is out.
Gotcha.
She's not waiting around at book 7 for 8 years while the guy.
I hear Shakespeare's finished. He did all this
He's
stuff.
all done.
He's not putting any new
I
stuff
hear
out.
he's finished.
So I was on a plane the other day too, and I was. It's maybe the worst first world problem ever, but I got upset that the direct TV on my flight wasn't working right.
Really?
Like it was unwatchable. I was like, "What is this? I'm on a plane. I can't watch TV."
You know, Louis C.K. has a whole bit about that.
but I was like, "That's got to be like the worst possible advertisement for a direct TV
Well, how
service,
long
right?
was the flight?
4 hours.
Well, I mean, do you not have
That's a
crap
long
on your
time to not
phone
have.
to do though?
Then the internet didn't work on the plane either.
That's kinda tough.
I played a mobile game on my phone instead.
For 4
What'd you play?
hours.
Reigns.
I'm telling you, dude, Fallout Shelter.
Reigns.
Get
I'm
it.
telling you, YouTube Red.
Yep.
YouTube Red is also dope. I'm actually surprised Gavin never gets the internet on planes.
Really?
Ever.
It's too expensive.
waste
It's a
of money.
It's a
rip-off.
great time to bang out a bunch of email.
That's true.
I mean, you can
gonna
reply
make a
to
bunch of
email
noise over here. Sorry.
without
There,
being
hold on.
online. You just send them all when you land.
I guess so. I guess that's true.
Are you actually waiting to receive emails in the air?
No, God, no. That sounds like hell.
Yeah.
No,
right.
I love clearing out my inbox though. It's like my favorite
You can
thing.
do that without internet.
Well, I guess I can, but then I land and it's like a false clearing because then everything comes in.
I had someone. I flew this week as well, back from LA, because I was at the Crunch Night premiere, which premiered this weekend. And there was
Awesome
a
new show.
guy in front of me who reclined his seat back. The second we were able to recline the seat back all the way, and he was one of those people that like whenever he moves, he pushes all the way back on the
Yeah.
seat.
Yeah.
And so my knees were. I had to sit like this the whole flight.
Always open.
Why didn't you? How far back do those seats recline? Because even if you recline your seat, it's not going to move your legs back.
Exactly.
So this is just like a poorly
Why
designed
were your
plane.
It was
knees
just a
up
really-
in his back?
I'm a tall person.
But like my knees don't go higher than the armrest, and anything below the armrest doesn't move.
it was touching my legs.
Wait, your knees don't go above the armrest?
No, the armrest is like here. And my
Yeah, the
knees are
top
down
of the
here.
armrest. It moves down at the bottom of the armrest.
You mean it goes to that?
Yeah.
The top of the seat.
Yeah.
Like
The-
the,
the hinge
bottom
is
of
the
the top.
bottom
I mean,
of
I've
the
only
chair.
I've had like the chair hit me in the face, but that's because I'm leaning forward at the time.
Now, I've had my knees smashed in before by
Yeah.
recline chairs. And I don't get mad at them. That is their right as an airline passenger to recline that seat.
There
You
are
do it.
people who feel like you shouldn't do that.
Have
And
you
I'm-
seen the
I
product?
don't do it.
We've talked about this
But
before.
if you want to do it,
I
you
understand
do you.
reclining your seat. Maybe just like one of those little one clicks just to get the little relax in your back.
It's not a click.
The one little like hinge.
Nah,
No.
go all out. Go all out.
It's
because
there's no
I'm
hinge.
curious.
It's just like,
You paid for that seat. Use every degree.
yes,
of recline.
absolutely. Fucking
And so you
break
sat
that
there
seat and
not
recline all the way.
reclining because you felt it was wrong to the person behind you?
Yeah.
Do it.
I just did the
Martyr.
one little click.
It's not clear.
There are no clicks.
But
Have you
also
seen the
it sucked
product?
because there was a TV screen on the back of the chair that I was watching a movie on, and so when he reclined, it was like this close to me.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Then
You
like
can
it's
pull
like
it-
the screen's even bigger.
Yeah, you can pull it down too.
But not
so-
this one.
What?
This one didn't move.
So you were like
swivel?
this?
Oh.
No, I was just like, I was watching the movie like this.
That sucks.
Your legs are open and your chin is in your chest.
So I was being on the plane.
Awesome. Look.
There's a thing you can buy.
We should do the
that's-
rest of the podcast
it's,
like
it's
that.
2 clips that you put on. I think you put them on your tray,
Yeah.
but it like totally stops the chair in front from reclining.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Yeah, it's great." If someone used that on my chair, I'd be livid.
I'd be
I'd be
so
pretty
pissed.
mad too.
I'd be trying to like break it.
Yeah.
Like, is that allowed? Are you allowed to do that?
I think.
No.
Yeah, you can. If you complain about it, then they have to remove it. Like, someone will try to put it on there, but
Actually,
they cannot do that. 'Cause-
I would bet that you could theoretically get somebody kicked off a plane for modifying the aircraft. Like, basically, whatever the flight crew wants to establish as a rule, they can totally do it.
Yeah.
Like, if a flight crew says, we kicked this guy off the plane because we didn't like the color shirt he was wearing, you got to get off the plane.
Speaking of airlines doing what they want, when I was flying back from New York on Sunday, I was waiting to board the plane, and normally they go through the announcements. We're going to begin boarding, all the typical stuff. Then the gate crew started saying, if you have a Samsung Galaxy Note 7, please
yeah.
power it off. Do not power it on during the flight. Do not plug it into the in-flight power, and do not put it in any of your checked luggage. Which, of course, they were a little late for that one. But
Yeah.
I was like, damn, they specifically called a phone out and said,
Well, it's
do
'cause they
not
keep
use this phone
exploding.
on a plane.
Keep catching on fire.
Yeah, I mean, they're exploding at a pretty decent rate at this point.
I
That
think
is
they've
a
done a
brand in
whole-
crisis, dude.
They've done a whole recall of like every single one, haven't they?
Yeah. I did a news read with Ashley about that earlier. I think
A 6-year-old kid had one. Which,
Yeah.
what the hell is a 6-year-old kid doing with a brand new Note phone? That's a-
YouTube Red.
what? It's an expensive ass phone given to a 6-year-old.
Is it? How much are they?
I mean, I'm sorry the kid got burned and all that. You
You
know?
got burned?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the phone exploded in his hand and he got burnt.
How recent of a development is that?
The kid getting burned or the phone's
The
exploding?
phone
The
exploding.
phone launched August 19th, and then I think the rumors of the recall started about 2 weeks ago, and then I think last week is when they actually
when I
recalled
flew
it.
this week is the first time I ever heard about that, and then you guys also started talking about it, so I didn't know how recent it was.
You know, it worries me. We talk a lot about Apple on the podcast, but we bitch about Apple a lot. And, because we work in video games, there's obviously brand loyalties that fall in place there, and people get, like, very stodgy about those loyalties. But I was reading a Reddit thread about these exploding phones, and it was crazy. It was specifically the thread about this kid who got burned doing it. And the people on Reddit, like the top voted comments were people saying, well, it's the kid's fault because they put the information out there and he just doesn't want to give up his phone. It's like, it's not the kid's fault that somebody manufactured a phone that blows
That
up.
explodes.
How does it get through quality control? Like, how does that happen to the point where,
It's
like,
just
They can
batteries,
They can
dude.
only test so many.
I guess,
If
yeah.
none of them exploded of their test batch, and then other ones did it, it's like, oh, whoop.
Oops.
So when I got my new drone, I never really wanted to travel with my drone before because it was like, I don't even think it was high def. It was like 720 was the Phantom 2 that I had. But the new one I have goes all the way to 4K. It's gorgeous, takes gorgeous photos. I've been putting them in the vlog. But so as I travel, I want to take it to places and fly it.
Those shots don't look real.
They look crazy,
They're
don't they?
amazing.
I love in ours when we did ours where you talk later about the rainbow.
Yeah.
And I had a shot of the rainbow.
That's crazy.
I didn't have time to edit it in, but I wanted to go back and edit like a thing and say, yep, I saw the rainbow.
Bing.
But I was trying to figure out if I could fly with it on a plane. So I looked it up, and I saw a guy's video about flying on a plane with his drone. And the batteries that come with this Phantom drone are called LiPo batteries, lithium polymer batteries.
Okay.
Not familiar with that
Haven't
kind of battery.
heard of it before.
They're in RC cars.
Are they?
They explode violently if they get pierced.
Really?
Well, most batteries do, don't they?
Well, alkaline batteries do.
Okay.
So are you not
You-
allowed to travel with
You
this?
could buy these bags on Amazon that contain the batteries if they go off and they start burning. And all the reviews on that are hilarious going, yeah, here's what my bag looked like after my battery exploded. And the bag is just obliterated. You know what I mean? It didn't do
Damn.
anything to help contain it. But so you can't put the drone or the batteries in your checked luggage. You got to carry it on. And they were trying to get, this guy had a video, he was trying to like bring it on. They said, you can't bring that on. Gate check it. It's too big. And he goes, no, I can't because look, it's got these batteries and I'm not supposed to check it. And he was explaining that to the flight attendant. And he's thinking, well, maybe I should just pull the batteries out and I'll put them in my backpack or whatever. And as he's thinking about that, the pilot comes out, had overheard the conversation, and goes, I don't want that on my plane. Get off.
Wow.
Yeah. And just like straight up kick the guy off the plane. And his whole the moral of the story is just don't say anything about it. But
That's terrifying.
yes. So there's going to be something that happens, and I hope it doesn't, but there's going to be something happens where there's a major crisis of a laptop battery or a
We've
Note
talked about
or
this
something.
years ago before this Samsung stuff. You and I think on the podcast we talked about how terrifying that is. That like once a cell phone battery starts burning, how difficult it is to
Yeah.
put that out.
Yeah.
I mean, I've stabbed a lithium polymer battery for a slow-mo. You just like nick a little hole, and it's like a volcano. Like it produces enough smoke to completely engulf the entire inside of a plane for sure. Like you wouldn't be able to see anything
That's horrifying.
Where did you film that then?
in my backyard.
Really? Did it not like create this giant?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Hey, Gav.
Surprised
Yep.
no one called the ambulance or
How
something.
much? I know you know Destin, who does Smarter every day,
I do.
and he's a brilliant guy.
He's a legend.
And you're part of Slow-Mo Guys, and you do cool stuff. You know Veritasium as well.
Yep.
And do you know who's the other guy I'm thinking of? Vsauce.
Gus.
You know him?
Yep.
So the science community, as you're a part of, for this YouTube science community, they tend to know each other.
I'm on the edge of it.
You're on the edge of it because you're more of an entertaining. You're very specific.
Gavin's
I just
like
go.
science.
I just go for visuals.
There
They
you
go
go.
for science.
But yeah, I mean, yours is like really specific, and I think like most of those guys, like if they were gonna do something slow-mo related, they would probably like think about you or reference one of your videos in it. There's this kid that I've been watching lately that is gonna fucking kill somebody, and I don't know. It's like I feel obligated as another YouTube creator to like reach out to this kid and tell him to cut the shit. Do you know this kid, Backyard Scientist?
Oh, I've seen a few of those.
Have we ever talked about this guy
I don't
before?
think so.
I've seen a clip of him setting off bullets
With molten aluminum.
yeah,
Like
Without-
bullets, he just lays them out like on a brick and then pours molten aluminum on them, sitting there pouring it until the bullet explodes. He's in a backyard. It looks like he's in Florida. 'Cause he's
Also,
got, like,
it's on a brick at dick height. Like he's just blowing up bullets. One of them could just glance his penis and balls.
and he's like,
I have not
doing,
seen that
He's
one.
doing
That's
all this
crazy.
shit in his backyard. It's like something's gonna go through that fence and kill like a neighbor. I mean, he
Yeah.
hurts himself. That's on him, right? But it's just like, guy's gonna fucking kill somebody. This
Well, it's
kid.
the same with FPS Russia.
But that
What-
kid, that guy's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, doesn't he go out
Right,
to like
but
remote locations?
he did some
He's had some close calls.
unsafe, like that car door that almost ripped his
The
arm.
car
off.
door hits him. It kills him, and that's a tragedy. But it's still him.
Well, he has
They
a
go-
crew as well. He has a crew.
They know what they fucking signed up for. They after their first shoot with FPS Russia, they should be like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Like, just do a quick Google search. What are we going to be filming? Oh shit!
We have on the careful what I say here. We have on the table. We have a pitch for something that it involves 1 or 2 live rounds of ammunition, like from a real weapon.
Are you allowed to say what show?
I can't say.
Okay.
So it's a live round of ammunition.
Always open.
So we've been it's always open. We've been like talking around. Apparently it's off topic when Jeff kills himself. We can talk about that in a second. That was the most depressing thing I've ever seen in my life. But no, it's a live round of ammunition, and it has like we went through the crew and we talked to crew about it. Literally like half the people that normally crew our shows were like not doing it. Like they just wouldn't set foot
Wow.
on a set that has live ammunition on it. So crews are like, they know what they're doing. They know what they're in for. You know, and anybody with any amount of experience knows it's not worth the risk. I'm not taking this job, and they're just gone.
It's
you know?
smart. I mean, I'm desensitized to it because I worked on so many things with live ammo and
Well,
real
you're in Des's
explosions.
pool,
and-
like firing
Yeah.
pistols.
All right, I got something I want to read here.
I got something I want you to read. How do you
Well,
like that?
It's this right here.
Remind everyone that this episode of the podcast is brought to you by Pizza Hut. So shout out to Pizza Hut for joining us and helping us create a portion of the podcast we call The Feed. Da 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 da.
Wow.
Pizza.
As if from
I
nowhere.
did it with my brain.
Pizza Hut was with us at PAX West, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. With the Retro Bites Arcade, we got a chance to play a bunch of classic games with people in attendance at PAX West. It was a ton of fun. I played Donkey Kong quite a bit, actually. We're going to be giving out some Pizza Hut swag as well as Pizza Hut gift cards to our viewers who can answer a trivia question about one of the games that we had in the Retro Bites Arcade. For this one, it's about Centipede. In the original Centipede, when the scorpion runs across the screen, what does it do? If you know the answer, tweet it using hashtags RTPodcast and hashtag the feed. We're going to pick 3 winners. 2 runner-ups will get a $25 gift card, and the grand prize winner will win a $25 gift card and all this Pizza Hut swag you see right over here.
Dude, look at
and,
that sweater.
What's the question?
and the longboard.
Again,
In the original Centipede, when the scorpion runs across the screen, what does it do?
this might be the first one I don't know the answer to.
This is a tough one. It's a little harder this time. So Pizza Hut's introducing all new pizza box that features a playable flick football field on top. Goalpost, football triangle, scorecard are all included. Oh, there it is. You can see, got little football triangles. You make a little goalpost. It's football season. You gonna eat something?
Oh, the wings.
Blaine was so excited when he was on here last time.
I saw.
He went to town.
Was he watching his macros?
At
micros?
first he was, and then he just started eating. He was like, yes, it's on, and he went to town. Anyway, there's the longboard that we
What?
skated
that
on
just
last
came
time.
out of nowhere.
Ride it, Barbara.
I need a plate. Give me that thing.
I'm wearing heels.
Ride it.
All right. But this is the football thing. I'm gonna give it to Burnie, because he doesn't have a plate.
I don't
Pass
need
it
a
over
plate
there.
anymore. I finished all the food.
Oh, there you go. Hold it up for camera. That way they can see the back.
That's not even what you say on a goddamn skateboard.
There you go. Pizza.
Cowabunga.
Can you imagine if that was the commercial for that longboard?
Wee cowabunga.
Listen, I was born in the late 80s.
Click it.
That's what I'm used to.
Pizza.
Thank you, Pizza Hut, for sponsoring the podcast.
And for giving away stuff to our viewers.
Also, the big, they do a lot of work with the booth, right? Because I was at PAX. And
Yeah, they were at the Retro Bites arcade there.
He sounded like a Muppet just now.
Get out of there.
Have you seen those things that
Yeah,
you can
Muppets? Yeah.
that you can buy for planes? Where it's
Gus, what is the thing that you can buy for planes?
The thing you can buy for planes where...
I want to guess.
Oh, I don't know. Because I would have guessed the reclining thing, but we already covered that.
Well, we were talking about pizza.
What's the recliner?
We were talking about
It's where you block the reclining of the seat. in
block
front
the
of you.
reclining.
I think, is it the new type of plane pillow you could buy?
Yeah, I was
That's
going to say
correct.
the thing that looks like
so
a.
there's a thing, right? We should get a picture of it. It looks ridiculous. You're supposedly going to strap it
Around
over
the
the headrest.
Front, isn't it? Oh, no. the
It's
back,
like a
and then you-
hammock.
Does it go
for
over
your
the
head?
over the other person's?
Yes.
So you cover up someone's TV,
Pretty much.
and
It's
then
just a string.
and then it's like this, and you just sleep on it, but you just look like you've been hanged in your seat. It looks
Pretty
like
much.
you committed
You
suicide.
can also put it on your tray table and put your arms through it like this and sleep like that.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Teddy has something called an ostrich pillow, which is like
Oh, I've seen those.
it's like a big pillow that goes over his head, and it looks like a bulb. What was it? BioShock Infinite with the things that had the bulbs, like the sirens.
Yes.
It's like a big bulb head, and it's got holes on top. He can put his hands in there like that, and he's got a little hole for his face.
So he sat like this.
So he puts his head down with it.
Doesn't, I was going to
It's
say, doesn't his
weird.
arms get really tight?
Yeah, no, it's so you're supposed to lay flat.
Yeah, this thing looks so dumb. I would never.
I would
The
get
problem
it.
with
No,
all-
this
there
is
it
not
is.
it. That's the ostrich pillow.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's what Teddy's got.
The problem with all these pillows is you've got to carry them on the plane with you.
It's like something from No
They're
Man's
fucking
Sky.
massive. What?
You
They're
guys should
fucking
find
massive.
the
You got to
other
carry
one.
that shit with you on the plane.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it's like it's pointless.
There's when we were on the Amazing Race, we packed everything we could possibly need, and then by the end of the race, we were just like, it was such a metaphor for travel and learning to travel. By the end of the race, 3 weeks later, in real time, we were throwing out literally everything in our backpack to get down to like one pair of underwear and an extra shirt, and that was it. Because all we cared about was weight at the end of it.
Yeah.
It's like, I used to pack so much shit when I would go on planes too, like stupid travel pillows and those fucking U-shaped
God.
things people in there. And after a while, you're just like, fuck, I don't just want to deal with all this stuff.
I just need an eye mask. That's all I need. Put it in my pocket.
Gavin uses an eye mask. It's
I don't
very
look good.
endearing.
I don't look good.
You look very fancy.
Very
in your eye mask.
I
functional.
have to use an eye mask too, but it's not so it keeps it dark. And I've talked about this before, but my eyes don't close when I sleep. And I also
freak.
drool when I
That's-
sleep.
I dry out on planes. So I don't know how you would do that on a plane.
Oh,
Leave
my
your
eyes hurt.
open.
So I mean, it's not on purpose.
Oh no, I know. I just don't know how you can stand it.
Just rub Vaseline over your eyeballs before you sleep.
Like this. And then I
Pro
drool
tip.
too, so it's just not pretty. I have to cover up as much as my face as possible.
Just do what I do. Just literally, like, I just sit down in my seat like this, and I go, like,
Yep.
I just conk out immediately.
Yeah, I feel like I can turn my brain off when it comes time to sleep, and just like
I would
that's
pay
it. Out.
for that skill.
God, yeah.
I always struggle to sleep.
I practiced for a long time. I know that sounds weird, but I had
Practice
trouble sleeping when I was a teenager, and I was just
Imagine you
like,
with like a sweatband.
I just had to practice turning my brain off and just like
Training montage.
training just to try to like clear my mind and not have it create new thoughts.
When I
So
can't
what do you
sleep,
think of to clear your mind? then?
Nothing.
But how do you think of
Nothing.
nothing? I can't. I can't.
Nothing.
Pick.
Nothing.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
Okay, imagine me trying to think of nothing right now. I'm trying to think of how to think of nothing.
Here's how
I'm
Gus
thinking of
does
other
it.
things. You
I
can't
pre-
just think of a
I
nothing.
pretend I'm dead.
Now I'm thinking of the word
Oh my
nothing.
god.
Gus lays in his bed, and he goes, I'm going to think of all the people I like and respect. And he's out. Like,
Wow.
all right. Nobody on the list. He gets Esther, then nothing.
Then
It's
Like
like
the
it falls
opposite
off
of
a
counting,
cliff.
counting sheep.
First runner-up for the feed is Conrad Schmidt, TDG_Conrad. I'll
Yeah,
say the
Conrad.
answer after we pick our grand prize winner.
Pick the grand prize winner because I want to know what the fucking scorpion
I'll get there.
does.
So it was my 10th anniversary over the weekend.
It was also Esther's, you selfish prick.
It's my 10th anniversary. So Esther and I went up to New York for a few days.
nice of you to bring her
Just to,
on
just,
your
just to get
anniversary.
away. I figured, she's done a good job.
Did you do
for
a
the past
fancy
10 years.
hotel?
Yeah, we did. Stayed somewhere fancy and went around and like ate
Esther loves hotels.
nice
doesn't?
nice food. But I fucked up on one of the meals. There was I don't know, like we didn't know what we were gonna do for dinner the next day, and I just looked on Open Table. I was like, oh, here's a Japanese yakitori restaurant.
What's
stars.
yakitori?
It's like grilled chicken. on
$4
skewers.
signs.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, this is fancy, right? Takes reservations. I was like, okay, we'll eat there. The next day, the restaurant called me. Like, we just want to confirm that you have a reservation for this evening. I was like, yeah, great. Like, just also want to confirm that you booked the chef's special table.
Oh no.
I was like,
Yes.
oh, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And they were like, you're going to be sitting, the chef is going to work in front of you and prepare a custom meal
Isn't that
for
like
you.
Sounds
hundreds
lovely.
of dollars?
I also
to-
imagine that's your worst nightmare.
This is New York
And,
City.
and they're, and it's like, and he's going to make a custom meal for you. It's like whatever, a ton of courses.
So
and
you're just thinking, oops.
I was like, oh, fuck. So we go to the place.
no, how much is it though?
It was $140 a person.
Oh,
That's not too bad.
It's not
For
terrible.
New York, that's not the
I
worst.
was
No, but-
expecting you to say like $800.
Yeah, I've heard of
for
like
two people.
$1,000
Yeah.
meals. For,
But we sit down, we go into this restaurant, really nice restaurant, and they like take us to this back area that's like curtained off, and it's like a tiny little, almost like a sushi bar, right? With 5 seats, and it's like Esther and I sitting, and the chef is about as far away as Gavin is.
Oh my
He's
God.
like, hello, I'm gonna be, Japanese guys, like, I'm gonna be cooking you, and he opens up like this box, and it's like all this different raw meats. He's like, I'm gonna be cooking all of these different skewers for you, and you get to pick if you would prefer Japanese Wagyu beef or some kind of crab.
wonder if it was real.
And then like a rice dish. And I was like, okay, great. I didn't ask him what any of the skewers were, which was my mistake. Because he starts bringing stuff out. And at first you're like, okay, this is a little weird. Then he brought out like 2 chicken hearts
oh,
on a skewer.
how big is
What?
a chicken heart? Like this big?
Look that big.
Like a grape? Chicken
Yeah.
grapes?
And so I ate those. I was like, okay. I was
Seems like bad juju
oh,
to
that-
eat a heart.
So I was like, that was a little rough, but I ate it. Then he brought out liver.
Is it tough?
Those are chicken livers.
Is the heart tough? Is
It was pretty tough.
That's
seems
two.
like it would be.
That's livers?
Yeah, those 2 chicken livers, and
seems
they
like-
were still kind of bloody. And then I was like, okay, this is getting hairy.
it have
Isn't
like
the
the
liver where
same-
all the poison in the body? Ends
Yeah.
up?
And then he brought out this other dish that there's the hearts. He brought
look
out
like
this
meat.
this
Look at
other dish that was like the arteries and the connective tissue around the heart.
Okay.
Oh,
And he's like,
why?
each of these skewers is made from the hearts of 10 chickens.
Oh.
Wow. That seems
And
aggressive.
it sounds gross, but it was actually really good. There
Does
was
it?
like a
Does it
nice
sound gross?
chew and a nice like crunchiness
Did
to
it
the
pop?
to the arteries.
What did it like?
But and it was like,
juicy?
but I just felt
Pause
really
it.
weird because like I ate it fine. It tasted great, but I couldn't let it show that I was nervous about it because the chef's watching me, and then there's a waitress just to my side watching me also.
Was he just staring at you like, oh, you like that?
Yeah, he's like, "What do you think about that one?" Like,
Arteries?
"Oh, that had an interesting char to it, or that interesting crunch." He's like, "Oh, right, yeah, okay, good."
Yeah, I like that. That's exactly how he said it. Yeah, okay, sure. And the waitress is off on the side going, I owe him another $10. He got him to eat the fucking
Yeah.
arteries.
Do you think that he's just trying to reduce wastage? He's like,
Gee,
what
totally
offcuts
is.
can we,
He
what
brought-
offal can we put in his mouth?
He served one of the skewers was
A bag of chicken eyes?
medium rare chicken tenderloin.
It was a
medium
chicken
rare?
tenderloin.
Medium rare.
You can't have red chicken.
I ate it.
Was it pink?
Oh yeah, it was super pink.
Isn't it
I think
not
people are.
good
That's
to
fine.
eat?
That's fine.
Parasites and stuff.
No, you have to worry about salmonella. Is what you're worried about.
Isn't that a parasite? Or is that like a
I
virus
wouldn't call that a
disease?
parasite. Yeah, it's disease.
Yeah, I guess they have a very strict supply chain for their chicken, so that they're able to
Don't
do
ever
that
call
kind
You know
of
what
me
causes salmonella?
Chicken. What?
Mostly
Salmon?
when they kill the chickens, they poop, and that causes salmonella. And remember News of the Weird in the Austin Chronicle? I read about a guy who invented glue that they glued chickens' butts
Oh, God.
shut before they killed them, which is
That is.
yeah, it's bad news. So
What have we become as a race?
right, exactly.
I glue the anuses of chickens closed. That's my job.
It's like when I see people eat the fish and the fish is still alive. And
Oh,
it's
I
like,
can't do that.
It's like, what's wrong with you? It's like, do you want that like on the permanent record that you ate something while it was still alive? It's like, just don't do that.
Yeah, the aliens are going to see that one day.
Especially when we videotape and broadcast
when they're
it.
eating you. Like, oh, okay.
It creeps
Well,
out
to
there.
be fair, animals do that. Animals don't glue the anuses of other animals shut, though.
Good point.
Or so you think.
I would like to think we're better than animals.
Well, we're not.
We are
What do you mean?
animals.
Oh, you mean like on the scale of all animals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
I'll agree
we're
with
the
that.
like the upper brackets. They recently had a breakthrough with dolphin science
Oh, I heard about that.
where
LSD?
they what
No.
they were able to. I don't know what it was. I didn't actually read the article. I just read the headline. Where they were able to develop some kind of technique in the recording of dolphin chatter, where they can now say they've officially recorded a conversation that takes place between 2 dolphins, which apparently, theoretically, the dolphins were all talking to each other, but they couldn't differentiate between the chatter and the chirping, whatever they click, 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 whatever they
I
do.
like to imagine that dolphins are just laughing at each other.
Yeah,
That's it.
check this out, dude.
How is that a
Listen to what my
breakthrough?
voice sounds like.
Yeah,
It's like one animal made a noise, another one did, and then the other one did again.
yeah.
Like what-
very reportable.
how is
it was
it not
it was
that?
reported everywhere.
What? I mean, that's what conversation is, back and forth, right? How has nobody ever heard that?
Don't know. They got to report something.
just the
I mean,
way you
I don't know if you read the
described
news this week. You probably didn't hear this story 8,000 fucking times, but a car drove off a parking lot in downtown Austin.
Oh God, yeah, it was.
I've never
everywhere.
seen such a reported thing in my life. I saw that fucking thing everywhere.
Isn't that your old parking garage too?
It was literally the parking garage we parked in. every
Even
day.
people we work with.
Yeah.
We're like sending us that.
Everyone
internally. Like,
sent us that.
Okay, I got it.
I didn't see it.
I get it. It's like, is it that fascinating that a car drove off a parking lot?
It was kind of fascinating. How did you do that? That's
Just-
crazy.
That was the
Just
one
go
piece of
forward.
information you couldn't get. How did the dipshit go off the side of the
He
parking
clearly
garage?
meant to reverse and he went forward instead.
But how did he go all
It
the
could
way
just not
off?
set the parking brake and it rolled off. That
But
could
how
have
did it roll
happened too.
through the railings and the wires?
It was holding on by one wire. We're talking about it now.
You're the one who brought it up.
No,
your
I know,
fault.
but it's like I was brought up because I was annoyed how much it got brought up, and
But
now we're
it's
having
cool.
a
It was
civil
interesting.
conversation about how interesting this
Now
is.
no one's gonna ever drop it. You've made a mistake.
they already
I'm
take
gonna
that?
change,
My
I'm gonna
honey
change,
won't
I'm gonna
spoil
change
it.
the
He's sending me
subject.
the fucking goddamn car off the parking garage for the rest of my
The
life.
honey's still
So
there.
while I was
Looks pretty
in
gross.
New York, I went to the Natural History Museum.
Did you go to the place that does the cheese? Tell me you did the cheese place.
Cheese. I did not go to the cheese.
Where they
place.
melt the cheese and they scrape it on the plate?
Did not go there.
Fondue?
Instead, I went to the
Raclette.
Natural History Museum.
Oh, the,
I don't know
like,
how
big
that came
thing?
back to the cheese place.
No, I just when I hear New York, I hope you're always gonna say the cheese place. You said
So
some
I
fucking
was
dopey museum.
looking at the minerals and gems exhibit, and there's an exhibit where it's just like a bunch of quartz, and I'm just there staring at this stupid quartz.
Was Demono there?
And this,
Did Esther love it because she's a gemologist, right?
she's not a gemologist, but she does like gems.
No,
She
but
is a
was
gem.
She was a licensed gemologist.
No,
Yes,
No.
that was on an earlier podcast.
maybe she was. No, she was not.
Okay,
Wait, what's a licensed gemologist?
I didn't know at the time.
No, she.
Like you're an expert in gems?
Anyway, I'm looking at this stupid
Somebody-
display
all
of
right.
quartz, and this like teenage girl
It's
comes
me.
up and like elbows
Side
me out of
chick.
the way. And she
Sorry,
gets her
guys.
cell phone camera out and like starts taking a picture of this quartz. And she's there with her friend, and she turns to her friend and goes, "I love diamonds. They're my favorite." And it's like, if you
Run.
just look like 2 inches down, you'll see in big letters it says quartz. That's the display. I was like, I don't know how. It's like, all these, and these are giant. These are like the big ones you see are like the size of my fist. This would be like the biggest diamonds in the world
You know what they say? Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
if they were diamonds.
Like
And then
they're gone.
a little later, we were walking around, and I saw this penny press machine. You know, where you put in like 2 quarters and a penny, and like you crank the handle, and it spits out like a deformed penny.
Yeah.
Bernie's
Pressed
said about
penny.
something.
I'm texting.
We have
Jeff.
them RTX.
I'm gonna.
And- yes.
Gemologist thing is real.
So there was a change machine next to it, which gave you quarters, but did not give you pennies. So, but it was right by the gift shop, so I go to the gift shop and I'm like, hey, can I just get some change? I want a couple of pennies for the penny press out there. Like, oh, we can't open the cash register unless you buy something. So I was like, all right. And I just grabbed like some gummy bears. So we're right there by the
And
register.
then were you like, I want a refund?
I want to buy these. And the guy opens up the register and gives me change. But the pennies he gives me are like super dull and like cruddy. But I see some shiny ones in the register. So the guy gives me my change. Like, wait. I was like, can I trade these 2 pennies for those 2 shiny ones you have right there? And the guy's like, what? I was like, well, I told you I'm going to use the penny press. And you gave me these dull pennies. I see
Fucker.
2 shiny ones on top. Can I just trade you these 2 for those 2? And he's like eyeing the shiny pennies in his register.
Why is this such an issue for
I know.
him?
And so I give him the 2 dull ones, and he's like looking at them. Then he pulls the 2 shiny ones out and starts examining them. Like I'm trying to pull some kind of scam on him. Like I noticed a special penny in the register, and he's like comparing them. And then the shiny ones were the kind with the shield on them. Like
The shield?
It's a slightly different penny.
Okay.
And he's so like that's like setting off all of his alarms. And I was like, I told you. I just want to go use the penny press machine. Can you please just give me those 2
But is
fucking
it-
pennies?
Is that
not-
when you pulled out your gun and held him up?
Is it actually the same penny that comes out that you put in there?
Yes.
Yeah, it gets pressed.
I just assume they have a stack of pennies in there. That
You can look. You can look in ours.
That's why you got to rotate it to the right thing, and then like
I just
you can actually
assumed that
watch
was
it.
just gimmicky crap.
I get it. I get it.
Pre-made
That's a
already.
safe assumption. Sure.
No, you can take a look at ours if you want. We can take it apart.
Yeah, we have a penny press here that we used at RTX.
Yep.
I'm
twice.
gonna get like the gammiest penny and see if it comes out all gammy.
Oh, it does.
They still
Oh,
come out pretty nice.
Put a diamond.
It shines a little bit because
You
it
mean a
stretches. But it's still pretty
Nice.
cruddy.
That was fucking awesome, Barbara.
On point, Barbara.
Solid.
All right.
I
Whatever.
don't like that this notebook only has USB ports on
How
the
does
side.
quartz tell the time?
Shut up.
I don't give a shit about your notebook.
It's crystals.
But does a diamond keep good time?
I don't know.
Diamond's more
I'm a
expensive
quartz
than
man.
quartz, right?
I stay loyal. Quartz has always been there for me.
I got
keeping time.
something else I want to read here.
You don't really have to.
I want to remind everyone this episode of Receipt Podcast is also brought to you by
Casper Von
Thanks,
Mattress.
I just
We had
remembered.
Casper Van Dien in that episode of Crunch Time.
Yeah, and a
your
short.
short.
As
He
well.
bruised the shit out of my chest
What did he do?
Join the
because
club.
he like defibrillated me.
Oh, yeah.
But he fucking went to every take. He went to fucking town
You're
with those
so
defibrillators.
fragile.
Why'd you say something?
I had like 2 giant circles on my chest for like 2 weeks after we filmed that, and it hurt so bad.
You're so tender.
Every take was agony. It was-
Casper, ow! Stop it, Casper.
Cover my boobies.
But yeah, it's go check it out. So our second runner-up for the feed is Eli Green, the green lobster. Well, all that's left is our grand prize winner, which
Come
we'll
on,
get to in just
hurry
a
up,
bit.
grand prize winner. I want to know what the scorpion does.
I
inside
remembered
of it.
what my note was. My mind reset thing. Have you ever had to reset your mind? Because
I think you should explain what you're talking about because I think you were talking about this before the podcast.
Yeah. And I couldn't remember what mind reset taps meant.
You
'Cause
had
I
a
write
note to
notes and
yourself
stuff.
on your phone.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
sometimes I can't remember what I was talking about.
And it was mind reset note. Mind reset what?
Taps.
Taps.
Like hot and cold.
Mind reset taps. Okay, what is it?
Well, I was about to brush my teeth, and my brain broke, and I was like, I don't remember which one's hot and which one's cold.
That's
Like,
happened to
even
me
though it's
so
like the
many
same
times.
times, I was like stood there. I was like, no, I'm gonna have to reset my mind. I had to walk out my bathroom and come back in and be like, oh, there we go. Like the context,
Why don't you just test it?
it was annoying.
No, your mind, you can get on the wrong track in your
Yeah,
brain, and to fix it, you just got to get away from
I'd
it.
autopiloted in, and I was just like, I became aware again at the taps, and I was like, no, I'm gonna have to come in again.
You're fucking me up. This is going to fuck me up next time I go tap.
Because
Left
I
is always hot.
associate,
No, that's always cold.
Left is hot.
Left is hot. dummy.
Don't do it.
I guess I associate the first glance I have when I walk into the bathroom. I'm going to go for that tap. I know what I'm about to do. I'm going to go for that one. And I just didn't do that when I walked in. And I do the same with light switches. I'm like, nah, I'm going to need to walk up to this light switch again to remember what they all do.
Dude, what a light switch does, I got light switches in my house. I'm going through and fixing stuff. I hate light switches that you can't figure out what they do.
I've got 2.
That's just the worst.
It's like I have no idea what this does, and I've got one that doesn't work unless another one is in a certain position.
Yeah.
Like why is that one there?
Do you guys
Oh,
have?
that's like a 3-way switch that's installed wrong.
Do you have like a row of switches where you'll never remember which one does what?
Oh, yeah.
Like
That's
they
every
all
house.
like this one turns on a light, that one turns on the light, this one turns on the light, but you never remember which light it turns
Yeah.
Oh,
on.
yeah.
I have a bank of 6, and I'm like,
Oh,
every
fuck
night
that.
before I go to sleep, I'm like, no. God damn it. And the fan outside is going.
There's 3 in my kitchen, just 3, and I never remember which one is which.
I've got 3 in my living room, and one of them turns on the light, and I always just hit all 3 at the same time. Like, okay, there, great, it's on.
I do also have a clapper in my living room.
Do you?
Yeah.
See,
What?
we were talking about home automation recently.
Are you serious?
And
It's great.
these guys use Hue bulbs, and you use Hue bulbs.
No,
You don't?
No.
I don't anymore.
I don't use Hue bulbs.
Why not?
Because I used to have lamps. And
Yeah.
now I just have like good ceiling lighting, but it'd be too expensive to
It's
put hues in all of
ridiculously
them.
expensive.
So I only have 3
You
bulbs.
also always have to keep the light switches on.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's
But
easy.
somebody else comes along, doesn't know that, turns it off, and then you're like yelling at your lamps, basically.
I don't have people over, so.
Oh, that's a good point.
Hue will pay for this.
Good lord. What do we do to deserve this?
Barbara, please.
But if you
Can we have a shot
instead of
collar?
replacing the bulbs, if you replace the switches in the wall, you don't have to worry about that. Because it's just like it turns it on when they're off, turns them off when they're on, that's it. Because you don't give a shit.
Wait, in the switch?
Yeah, you can place a switch in the wall with
Oh.
a voice activated or an Alexa operated switch.
So
Yeah,
good.
oh, yeah, you were talking about that recently, I think.
Yeah, I was just coming back around another reason why you should do it.
I want that.
Yeah, you should do it. But I had a thing where there was a switch in my house that was just wrong. I'm trying to try to explain this as best I can. So I'm standing indoors, okay? And on my right is the door, okay? And on my left is the room when I'm facing the switch. The switch on the left turns the light on
Oh,
outside,
God.
and the switch on the right turns on the lights in the room. Seems to me that the switch closest to the outside door should turn on the lights outside.
Yeah.
I got so sick of like mixing it up constantly that I like hit the breaker, got the switches out of the wall, flipped them over, and put them back in so that they would be in the right orientation.
How do you do
now
that?
I keep fucking it up because I was used to it the other way. So
That's one of those things in a house is where eventually I'm going to do something about this. But what caused you to finally be like, now is when I'm going to fix this?
because I'm traveling so much, like when I get to the house, I just like, I'm getting this shit done. The big thing for me is not having art on the walls. I didn't have like stuff on the walls. And I've been there a year and I'm like, I gotta get stuff on the fucking
Been in
walls.
that house for a year?
Nee. I've been over there a year. Over. Just moved in May of 2000 and whatever last year was, 15.
They're getting more absurd by the week, those noises.
So, what the big thing that I do is I make to-do lists like a motherfucker.
Where? On your phone?
Yes.
Ah.
I have an application that I use for my notes for the podcast.
Unnamed?
And I have it unnamed. And I use it for notes for other stuff as well. And like if I have like ideas for scripts and dialogue and stuff. And then I use it also for to-do lists. And I fucking rock to-do lists. I'm awesome at it. I am. I'm great at it.
I always write notes on my phone and then never look at them again. I always think like, oh, I'll reference this later, or like I make a shopping list on my phone. Never
What
use
did
it.
you write to talk about on this podcast?
I never write anything to talk
I'll
about. on
get the worst is I'll make notes
that's the
sometimes when
problem.
I'm drunk,
Oh yeah.
and then I'll look at it sober. I'll be like, "What the fuck does this?"
I always
mean?
do it to be nice to people when they tell me about something new. Like, oh, have you read this book or seen this movie? I was like, oh, what's it called? Let me look it up. And then I type it in my notes and then I forget about it.
I have
What,
a
is that
problem.
just to pretend to be nice? You might as well just write far
Yeah, pretty much.
I have a problem when I'm writing. None of you guys write scripts, but you spend a lot of time with somebody
Hey.
who does write scripts.
I wrote a script.
You did. You read a Red versus Blue script.
I wrote my script
But
for this
yeah.
podcast.
One of the things
I'm writing it right now.
One of the things.
Wait. There it is. There's some more.
It's improv. The one of the things that I do is I'll often when I'm in the middle of like a writing binge, I say things out loud to see how they sound. I just do that. I also find it's gonna sound weird. I also find it's way easier to write a script. I have one in my office. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I have a little mirror. And animators use a mirror too when they're doing facial animation. They'll look at it and do this. I'll do that and I'll say dialogue to a mirror to see how it sounds. It makes it feel like more
To
connected.
see how it
I'm like
sounds.
testing it out. I don't know how to say it. It works for me.
So you're looking
but
at your
I
own
sound
mouth?
like a fucking crazy person. I'm just like, and sometimes I'll say things like 5 or 6 times.
Do you
Like,
make yourself do different voices too?
Yes, or like different inflections and stuff like that, or like try to find a better word
Oh,
for.
right, Gavin.
the minute- Yeah. No, I go through stuff and I do that, but I sound like a fucking lunatic when I do that, and I recognize that I sound like a lunatic.
You
So someone
also-
might be walking past your office and you say like, "Stop it, Henry!"
Yeah, it's like that's
Henry.
not where that goes. That's not where that goes. Guys, come on, that's not where that goes.
Don't you also do speech to text for a lot of scripts? You said?
I do that too, but
Yeah.
then I just assume that people are just like okay with that.
You are typoing like a crazy bitch recently on text. What has happened to you?
I don't know what was happening that day. I felt like I was having a stroke. Every word I typed to him was a typo. I was like, burp, 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 burp. No, I was-
Ashley texted me recently, and I could tell she was doing text or speech to text for it. Let me find it for her. You guys.
Why
fill-
doesn't
fill the void?
the thing accept K as a word? Like it's not a word, but everyone says K. Like, all right. It
There was time I typed to you and it was like, it autocorrected
I.
nothing. It autocorrected a word with a capital letter at the beginning, which is obviously a proper name. And it like corrected it to something just totally
I hate that.
ridiculous.
Like,
I'm
flop alert or something.
really close to turning autocorrect off on my phone.
You need it there.
So we went to LA recently for the Crunch Time premiere, and Ashley texted me, "What hotel are you books at for tonight?" But 4 is spelled FOUR. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, "Sweet speech to text, bro." And then I tell her what hotel we're staying at, and she goes, "Indie Dokie."
Indie dokey.
Indie-dokey.
You know what I wish? I wish when you did a text to speech on a message, it made a little icon. I've said that before, but it seems like a real obvious.
Like a
just
microphone or
little
something?
microphone icon that says, "Oh, they did text to speech." So I know they're like when you read it, you're
Dictated,
thinking,
not
"What do they
read.
mean?" But if you're like, "Oh, the computer just heard it wrong," your brain does a different correction than it does
I
for.
can figure out what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you can try to figure it out. Yeah.
How was the crunch time prem thing?
Real fast, grand prize winner is Fo Mo JJ.
Wow.
Mo, JJ?
Yeah.
It's
So
not.
you won by knowing that
Won.
the scorpion poisons every mushroom it passes.
Oh, that's what it does. It doesn't do like a funky dance or anything like that.
Or
just
shake
come out and go like
Macarena.
this. Fuck you. Fucking
It's got claws.
centipedes.
That would be really awkward if it flipped you off. Yeah.
Fucking centipedes.
The
How was
Crunch
Crunch Time
Time
premiere?
premiere was amazing. I guess, yeah, you guys were not there.
We were filming
We were gonna.
lovely episode of a show called Immersion.
I know.
Immersion.
Immersion.
I was in New York.
I was actually, they talked to me about doing the first member only cut of it. Like, you know how they do like different lab rats for it. I was going to be doing it, but I had to go to the
Oh, for
Crunch Time.
Immersion. Yeah.
Yeah, Crunch Time premiere.
It sucks. It's a good problem to have where we're constantly working on so many things now at the company. There's so many productions going. You feel like you're missing out on stuff while you're working on something else.
Yeah.
It's like I'm doing this and it's like I know something cool is going on right around the corner and I want to go do that too.
It's why I get yelled at for missing Achievement Hunter all the time. It's like, yeah, but I'm not home with my thumb in my ass. I'm working on other
Yeah,
Rooster
you're like
Teeth things. I'm still working on stuff. Can't do it all.
in different production. But no, the premiere was really cool. The majority of the Crunch Time cast was there. A lot of different, like, I guess influencers, you would call them, were there as well, tweeting about it. Fans showed up as well.
What influences?
I used to not like the word influencer, but now I realize it's like a way that you can say web celebrity without people going celebrity.
Yeah.
Because it's like we all recognize that like web celebrities, the people that watch them, know them and
web
love them.
personalities, yeah.
Nobody else knows them. So the word influencer is now like this
makes sense.
middle ground.
I'm glad that the first 2 episodes of Crunch Time are finally out there for people to watch. For everybody, if you go to our YouTube channel or our website, you can watch them for free.
Both 2 episodes, yeah.
Yeah, first 2 episodes. Because I think
I'm glad we put up the
after
2 episodes too. That was a big
reading,
decision.
reading the comments, I think people finally understand what we were saying before about the trailers, about how it's difficult to try to put that concept into like a 1 minute.
Yeah, I saw a few
Teaser.
comments that were just like, I finally understand why the trailers were the way they were. Because, like, if you do any more, you give away so many parts of the show. Or,
What I love about it is that it's like this is part of the featured production group that developed and produced Crunch Time, and I love how far that group has come, because the first show that the featured production group did was RTES, and then the second thing we did was Laser Team, and then the third thing was Crunch Time actually was produced before day 5, and day 5 was the last one. So it's like just watching like everything we learned as the feature production group. This makes me super excited about Laser Team 2, is like all this like snowballing effect of like all these skills and all these things we've learned from all these massive productions. It's just getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
You know, to the point where it's like, to me, it's like there'll be some people who don't realize that Crunch Time was produced before day 5, and it'll be seen as the next evolution.
Edited too, I think, before day 5 even started.
We made a very conscious decision to put out Crunch Time after day 5. Because the audience knew about day 5, and honestly, it's like the rejection level for RTS, which was the first thing that group did, was just like we were like, okay, this is something that doesn't have a lot of Rooster Teeth personalities in it, and Crunch Time also has less Rooster Teeth personalities in it, so we swapped them out, really to kind of make it easier on the audience more than anything else.
Yeah, and I think having some of those guys around on various shows leading up to Crunch Time helps people become familiar with them.
They're all fucking funny.
They're all so
They're
funny.
so great.
Nick
and they have
and Avery?
great chemistry.
And Kirk,
man.
everybody loves Kirk.
I can't be on the spot with him or anything with him.
Yeah.
He's just too funny.
Yeah, Jesse's got some pilot now for a network TV
Jessie
show.
Hodges?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
like the lead in like a show that's in
She's
development.
hilarious as well. Like,
Fucking awesome.
Oh my god, that whole cast is just amazing.
Really awesome.
We have we did a Q&A at the screening as well that we've uploaded in full on our website, if people want to check that out. It's really funny. Nick takes his shirt off at one point,
Fucking lunatic.
and we also meet Nick's brother, who, by the way, is basically his twin.
No shit.
Yeah, it's his older brother, and they look identical.
Nick's the kind of guy too where it's like, if he swapped out with his twin one day, like just didn't tell anybody, I would not be surprised at all.
I think if the control room wants to go onto the Rooster Teeth Facebook page, we have an album of photos. I think there's a picture of Nick and his older brother.
Older brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just did they just put out the $1 million butt episode
The
that had
Brotherfords.
me and Kirk and Nick in it. That dude, they really stepped up the
those
production level.
flashbacks.
Yeah, it's like we were looking at it in approvals, and I was like, this is fucking dope.
What did they call the little monster again?
Stinker.
Little Stinker.
Little stinker.
Stinker.
That was fun. There was a whole there's a lot we obviously have to cut out in the game part of $1 Million Butt, the conversation at the beginning, which is basically what the card game is based on, is that like riffing conversation. There was so much about the stinker, like just talking about it. And like Nick just kept saying the word stinker over and over again. And you
well,
can actually see the
stinker.
point at which I pick it up. I go, is it the same stinker every day? Like we all picked up just calling this thing the little stinker.
It's crazy. Those episodes end up being like 4 minutes, but I would say each scenario is like a 20-minute discussion.
It
probably.
is. We talked for a very long time
And so
about
that
each
means
one.
like an episode's worth is about an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to maybe one day release just one like entire conversation about one scenario.
Well, we do playthroughs on Facebook with the game, and it's kind of like that, but they're the ones we do on the live streams on Facebook. I actually haven't participated in one yet. Have you?
No.
Yeah, at some point we should do that, because it's a lot of people who, aren't on the show that do the live stream. So we
I
should
actually,
come out
I
do
think
one.
I could announce this. I went over to SourceFed while I was in LA, and
You should announce that. Are you sure? No, I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
scared the shit out of me.
Her eyes got the size of dinner plates.
And we played $1 Million Butt with them
Oh, badass.
for SourceFed Nerds Plays. So
Well,
that should be out soon.
There's somebody who's associated with the SourceFed family who might be coming down to film some $1 Million Butt with us. Buddy.
So I've got that picture of Nick and his brother. I
Yeah.
don't know
Let's
if,
see it.
That's his older brother in front of him.
Oh, cool.
They're identical.
His brother is Freddie Mercury.
That's him.
They called themselves the Brotherfords.
The Brotherfords.
Yeah.
That's fucking funny. You love that.
Good to know we have a spare, just in case.
Just in case, yeah. Crunch Time season
But
2.
can I go back and something about how crazy I sound when I do dialogue? I learned something recently, which is one of the things you talk about. You'd leave notes on your phone,
Yeah.
and you would never go back and check them. Something I had that was readily available to me that I would use and then forget that I had used it, and then every now and then I would go through and like go through the whole archive of it. Was my old truck had in the visor, it had a button that was record, and then you record a memo to yourself, and then you go back
There's
and
like
and you go back and play it later. And there's a lot of recordings in that thing from like my kids and all that stuff. But then there's also just me doing dialogue, like just like talking and doing dialogue
Is it audio only?
to it. Yeah, it's just audio only. But I donated that truck essentially when I owned the company. I donated that truck to the company, and it became a production vehicle. And people have been listening to those notes and thinking they're like notes I'm leaving to myself like a fucking crazy person. And it was dialogue that I was writing for like random scripts. Like it goes back as
Why
far
did you
as,
kill her? I don't know. What?
Exactly, like that kind of shit. And nobody said anything to me about it. And it goes way back. It goes back to most of the dialogue in there is for a show that you probably haven't heard, like the name of forever, called Advertism.
God, I think about that show all the time.
I was writing the dialogue for a show we were going to work on called Advertism. It's what the mural that we have, that big blue mural, that was going to be a big set piece in Advertism. We just never got around to making that show.
And you were talking about that in like the mid 2000s, probably.
That was
Oh,
at the
yeah.
yeah, I mean, we got that set piece for the Congress office.
Well, I haven't had that truck since 2005, 2007 or something like that. Like, I haven't had that blue truck in forever. It's not my other truck, not the gray truck, the blue truck.
Yeah.
So I think I got rid of that truck before I left the tech support company.
So was Teddy born at that point?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Teddy's 11.
So was it stored on an SD card or something?
No, I don't know. It's just in the visor.
Yeah,
right.
like what's the storage?
It's probably just integrated there.
Yeah, it's integrated. Who knows? It's like internal memory. I don't upgrade
Hope the
it.
battery doesn't die on it. Like, where does it get its power from?
I hope it does. I mean, I should go back and listen. I'll get recordings from the kids and stuff like that. I'll pull it off there.
Did you ever have an argument with your ex-wife and just sneakily hit record?
One of the things I left in there.
Sneakily.
So there were
that
the
not a
one
word?
that Patrick specifically brought up to me was the
Patrick?
character that I was writing for. No, Pat
Pat
Matthews
Yeah.
from live action.
Yeah,
He was talking about how I left a note in there, and it said, "Yeah, you were talking about divorcing your wife." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I go, "I didn't own that truck when I got divorced." He goes, "Yeah, you were saying something like." My wife said I took the best years of her life from her, so I got to remember to divorce her before she takes the best years of mine, which was a dialogue bit from that character in Advertism. It's a guy who's got an ex-wife and then a new wife, and it's like constantly this back and forth
Why
battle.
do they listen? Isn't that like an invasion of privacy?
A little bit. I mean, yeah, a little bit.
I've driven that truck many times. I've never hit those buttons.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's like
How do you even access them?
you should play.
They're
Literally
buttons.
just
On the
How do you-
top?
reach up and hit play.
Well, I did like you have the stereo and stuff, so I don't know
You
if
said
there's.
it's in the visor.
You said to record. I didn't know if the same.
It's like right
I'm
next to it.
with
There's
you.
like 3 buttons,
That
right?
wasn't obvious.
It doesn't. No, listen. This is not a typical thing to have in a car. It's a
Yeah,
weird thing.
I've never
Is
heard
it
of this in
for
my
voice
life.
memos for reminders?
Yeah, it's basically so you can take little voice memos. But I would use it to be driving down the road,
Or if someone hits you, you could read their license plate.
and I would think of something for dialogue, and I would hit record, and I'd do
That's
it.
what I would use it for.
That's what I would do.
Handy.
I think a lot of dialogue in cars. That's when I'm driving.
So we'll take all the audio and release it as a big podcast of your years gone by.
my lunacy
Your
up
descent
until
into madness.
It's
2007.
always great conversations.
What
in
if you
cars.
said something really racist?
I could have said. I
No,
could have
it was
said,
dialogue. It was dialogue.
I could have said something really racist on there. I definitely could have. I should go listen to it and see.
We should go listen.
You should probably
how suspect
delete
it
that
is.
stuff.
They should probably.
How do you
delete it.
format a car?
Fucking jackasses.
All right, just get a big magnet. I want to read this here. I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is also brought to you by. I got a lot of travel. I did.
It's just the year of fucking
I'm about
travel.
to go to Europe for the first time in my life.
Really? For
Going
the first
to-
time ever?
Never been to Europe. I'm going to Germany for Konichi.
Deutschland, yeah.
You're gonna go with
German.
Michael and Lindsay and
Michael
Chelsea.
And Chelsea. Yep.
Chelsea.
Yeah, that's why Michael couldn't go to Japan with us for the Laser Team premiere because he was going to this German con.
He said it was too much international travel in a short period of time.
That was
was.
ages ago.
I know.
Some people aren't, I guess, as
What?
good at
Yeah, it
traveling
was
a lot
forever ago.
internationally.
Those things don't conflict.
No, he just like he didn't want to do that much international travel.
Yeah, I get it.
Maybe it's a fourth
lot.
dimension.
And I think he did. I also think he didn't want to be away from Lindsay. I think I got the feeling. Like it's a long time to go away from Lindsay. So
Should be fun. I've never been there, so.
We've missed a pretty important topic that might cause an argument.
all right, let's hold on 1 second. Put a pin in that.
All right.
I have a journal on the Rooster Teeth website on my particular profile. It's now half an hour till the end of the podcast. We're an hour in.
Roughly, yep.
So this is part of the podcast when we like to reach out to the audience and ask you, what was a story we started to tell and then got off the track and we didn't get back to it? Tell us what
If you're
story did we
watching
not
live on
complete?
Monday,
Yeah.
Which I do want to remind you, if you're watching this on YouTube, we do live stream on Monday, exclusively at roosterteeth.com for first members. There is a link below. You can click on it, and you get a 30-day free trial. And you can see it, and then when Burnie posts that journal in the future, you can respond to it and help us remember a story that we forgot
be
about.
I always
timely
like
about
seing tweets where people are like, "I'm watching my first live one." It's
yeah,
like
it's good.
a nice moment.
Okay,
to be-
what's going to cause a fight?
Could I guess?
Yes.
The new iPhone.
Yes.
Damn, Barbara, you are on fire tonight.
I just I know Gavin real well.
Okay.
I was gonna lick your hand.
Are you pissed about the headphone jack being gone?
No, don't care.
Can you see why people are pissed though?
No.
All right.
I think it's overblown because they give you a pair of earbuds in there that connect via Lightning, and if you still want to use your old one, they give you a fucking adapter.
But I have a question. What if you, let's say, are on a plane and your phone is dead or dying and you want to charge it and listen to music?
They have a dongle for that.
Yep.
They do.
They
It's
do?
massive.
They
It's
don't
like a
have
little
one.
cord
Belkin
and then a
they do.
breakout box with two
It's
lightning
hidden.
ports.
That is so dumb.
Also, or I use Bluetooth headphones.
Well, not everyone is a fucking.
Also, if
There's
you're
going to be a time where you've forgotten your headphones. It's like, oh, let me run to the Best Buy machine and quickly buy some.
the Best Buy machine's going to have them. The Best Buy
Well.
machine will absolutely have them.
I just, I hate it.
Or he'll just buy more Bluetooth headphones.
I like being able to use whatever headphones I want.
There's
just
an adapter for that.
without carrying 18 pieces
How
of
often does that
devices
happen to
in.
you? That's very specific scenario you just described where this is a problem. How often has that happened to you
Happen
in
to
the
be
last
flying
year?
back from LA right now.
Why was your phone so dead? That's on you.
Because
No,
my
I'm
flight
always
was
fine
at
with it.
6 p.m. and I was at full
Should
screen
have
all
been
day.
charging during the day. That's on you.
It's
That's
going to
poor-
suck
that's poor
to
planning.
have to choose between charging and listening.
I've
It's gonna
never
be
had.
really annoying.
I've never had to charge and listen at the same time.
You never have like a Mophie or something while you're listening or anything?
I do, but it's not because I need it. I just have. It's my case that I always have on. And with the Apple case, you could still do it anyway because it's a Lightning pass-through.
What do you mean?
Because the Apple case charges it like a Mophie.
Yeah, but I
But
can't use one of those. I
Still
got
has
Plus.
Right. Well, I'm saying for me, you asked if it ever happens to me, and I'm telling you what happens to me,
I
Gavin.
just don't understand why they.
You're right.
I
They cause
can't
an
wait
argument.
for you to be pissed off that you can't plug in headphones. I can't wait. It's going to happen.
Why though? Like, how much space were they actually saving by removing the headphone
They
jack?
were able to make it water resistant and add the better camera with motion stabilization.
They already had motion.
Fucking
I mean,
burn.
They had a second camera though. So here, let me play devil's advocate a little bit, if I may, because I up until they released this thing, I was totally ready to jump ship on Apple, get completely out of the ecosystem. I even have, look at this, I even have a new notebook with no stickers on it. I need to travel some more, get some more stickers. But the thing, this is so pathetic. This is absolutely pathetic. Do you know the reason why I'm staying with an iPhone? It's because I travel so much, I need to be able to text people while I'm on a plane. And I just can't do that with a non-iMessage phone. And I also can't text anybody who doesn't have iMessage.
Can you use WhatsApp though? for
It's a
that?
data service. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but you gotta
nobody
get-
fucking has WhatsApp that I know. Nobody's got it.
Aaron does.
I can use Google Hangouts too. I can also use fucking AIM. Nobody's got that shit.
Aaron
I
has
can use
WhatsApp.
Slack, which this company uses every fucking day, but I don't use Slack. I tend to avoid it because it's a gigantic piece of fucking shit.
You could-
Sorry,
What's wrong
April.
with Slack?
It's just who gives a shit about it?
It's
not
a
even
good
like a piece of shit.
service.
Slack's
I got a
awesome.
fucking phone in my
What's
pocket.
awesome about Slack?
That I can
It's
text.
it's great. It has improved.
sucks.
It has improved communication
What-
at this company tenfold.
What is wrong with Slack? You both keep saying
only
it's
because
so.
we all
What's
agreed
wrong
to
with
use the
Slack,
fucking
right?
thing.
I want to talk to someone. I type their name in the search bar and I see them pop up. I hit enter and it goes away.
You have to click their name and press
Why?
enter to make sure you're clicking on the right person.
It came up. It's there. It's the one.
That is why you hate Slack.
I told you this would cause an argument. You're right, Gavin.
My internet's down, so it's not launching. But I just initiated a direct message with you by typing Gavin and then just hitting
No,
enter.
not from that screen. From like the screen, the chat screen. Not from like direct messages.
Okay, from where?
There, search.
Search. You're searching.
What?
That's like going to Google to call me.
You're
you
you're
go right
searching-
here. This is the list of people.
That's an extra click. Why is there a search bar?
It's a click. It's the same
context.
number of clicks. It's
you
one
click
click either
either on the
way.
search bar or you click on the plus sign.
What's the search for then?
to search
That's for
within a
searching
message.
within the conversation.
That's a different feature. That's like.
That's why it's search and not message. You're right. That's why it's labeled
When
different.
I search in search, it brings up contacts. And then you hit enter on one and it goes
our
away.
fucking internet's down, so I can't make fun of you right now further.
Slack is amazing.
Anyway,
I love
so
it.
the headphone jack. I mean, I guess it won't bother me too much, but there are a lot of like external things that work with that headphone jack. Like I use mics that plug into that. What am I going to plug into?
That's true.
The adapter. Will that still work?
Should. Or you have to buy like a new lightning mic or something like that.
Lightning mic.
Did you see that picture that has been tweeted out a couple of times of it's that scene from Titanic of Jack and Rose on the ship and they're like iPhone 6 and then iPhone 7 it's just Rose
No.
because it's without Jack.
Oh,
Didn't get it from your description.
Sorry. It's a really bad way of
I feel like
describing
people
it.
are really up in arms over it, and it's just not going to
It'll
bother me
be
at
fine, I'm sure, but I just
Apple, to play devil's
just
advocate, to
inconvenient.
get back to what I
move.
was saying earlier.
Dick move.
Apple historically has a history of doing this. They got rid of serial ports and parallel ports on the old colorful Macs in order to move to all USB, but USB was an open standard. This Lightning approach is just, I think it's fucking garbage. I think we talked about it, speculated before the phone came out. I was hoping they would have USB-C as the standard adapter. Of course, they didn't fucking do that because they want to keep their goddamn Lightning
It's
thing.
going to make people need two sets of headphones. Like usually, I go on a plane with one pair of headphones. I'm watching someone on my phone, cool. Unplug that, plug it into a plane. Oh, I can't because it's a lightning cable.
Yeah.
What am I going to plug it into?
My Bluetooth headphones also have mini stereo. So that's what I use on the plane. It's Bluetooth for my phone. Then when I want to plug into the plane, mini stereo for the plane.
But I can't do that with the Apple Lightning headphones. can I?
Bluetooth.
Okay, I don't have Bluetooth headphones. What do you want from me?
I'm saying you can with these headphones.
With buying more stuff, yeah, sure.
Doesn't Bluetooth
Buy-
drain
But
your
it's
battery
one set of
faster?
headphones that fixes the problem you're
let me
talking
put this in
about.
perspective for you, Gus, and hopefully a way that you can understand it, is that the iPhone was the most ubiquitous consumer device in history. Like, everybody had a fucking iPhone for years. Then, was the iPhone 5, they switched to the Lightning port, right?
Yeah.
How many years was it when you went to hotels and they had an alarm clock on the desk and it had the old iPod dock?
I still see them.
Still to this
They
day.
were they're everywhere. Hotels just went all in and got those. Now I can't fucking charge my iPhone in any hotel because first of all, they never put a fucking plug by the bed. I don't know why. And the clock that's sitting on the desk, which I don't even know how it's powered because there's no plugs. It's got a fucking iPhone 4 dock in it always.
Oh, I
think
always see the
since-
new one.
The Lightning one?
Yeah.
You're staying in nice
Since-
hotels.
that
Since they've introduced the Lightning port, I think I've only seen one hotel ever that had a Lightning dock
Right.
instead of like the
Yeah.
old connector.
So you can see how it's going to be
Where
a
are you
problem.
guys
But that was
staying?
less annoying because that was one proprietary connector to another one. This is like the standard for all audio that's going away. And audio sounds better over analog anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get it. I'm already using Bluetooth headphones, so I really don't care. I
You're
like
losing a lot
wireless.
of quality there.
Well, I'm not suffering from that regard. My former father-in-law, Jordan's dad, he like sat me down and had me listen to fucking vinyl records. It was
Jordan
the worst afternoon of my life. I was just
So,
like, he's like, see how the highs and the lows. I don't see it. I just don't care. I
Vacuum
just like
tubes.
it's like music quality is completely wasted on me. Like if it was up to me, I would record all my MP3s like
We should-
96 kbps.
we should have
totally fine with it.
We should have a listen off for you. Have you listened to stuff via analog, Lightning, and Bluetooth?
Oh, like a taste test, but
I've
for
never
your ears?
tested it. I bet I could do it though. I mean, I sniffed out
we
your
found
shitty
our
Austin tap
episode
water.
400 hook, our special event.
I sniffed out your dirty water in the taste
you
test.
did sniff
Wasn't there like one more food thing we were gonna do? There's the steak
Ice
off.
cream.
Ice cream.
So
Sunday.
from my journal, the topics people want us to most like recover that we got away from is why is Jeff going to kill himself, and the other thing is somebody wants to know more about the Surface Book that I was talking about this thing, but a lot of people want to know why Jeff's going to kill himself. He was just go watch the last episode of Off Topic. The first 20 minutes are just the most depressing thing you'll ever see in your life.
He just misses his wife.
It's just like the presentation of it where he talks about killing himself is just like, it's very fucking funny. It's really funny. And so that's what we were talking about. So
Is
just
that-
go watch the last episode of Off Topic.
Is that a laptop that snaps in half?
It is. Watch this.
Do it.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are
Really
you
hope
ready?
he breaks it right now.
Here we go.
It's great.
All right, burning
Click.
it. Oh
And then
my
it goes.
God.
Now it's a touchpad. Hey,
Cool.
or you can like put it on backwards and then flip it over.
Do you ever use it in tablet?
Nope. But I do touch the screen all the time. Like
Like
I
to scroll and
tap on
stuff?
stuff. Like if I want to activate that window, I tap on stuff all the
That
time.
seems like something you would not like. Do you not hate it when people touch your monitor?
I touch my monitors constantly. I'm always like, even if I have a cinema display, I'm like, what is that? Then I hate myself for doing it.
Greasy
but I still do it.
fingerprint.
For no reason either. Now I have a reason to touch it. But you guys have seen me in meetings. I have like a cleaning thing that I clean it like twice a day.
I've seen you do it
You
in your
just
car.
deleted somebody's account on the site, Barbara. Good job.
Press the garbage can icon.
All right, I want to read one more thing here.
Also, the script I was talking about, just to finish up on what topics people want to hear about, that was a script called Advertism. It's not done yet. I mean, it's not done yet. We haven't made it. It's like just sitting there. It's like a project we haven't developed. Developed about the same time we started doing Break Room.
Wasn't
which
it
you're probably
pretty,
familiar with.
pretty raunchy?
Yeah, it was very offensive. It was like when he said, "Would you have something racist on there?" I'm like, maybe I would. Maybe I would.
He said the racist
So
thing.
you're saying it's not advertiser friendly?
It is not. That's the point of the show.
Yeah.
They make like. I don't want to give away the plot for the show,
Yeah.
but it's
Are
a
you gonna
really
make it still?
It's a really good device. You know, it's who knows. I mean, maybe we're getting around to stuff. We finally made day 5. You know,
It's
There's a lot
I'd,
of those
I'd like to
idea-
make Break Room before we make anything else.
a lot of those ideas that have been around for a long time are finally happening.
Like a breakneck pace now. I mean, we talked about Laser Team forever too.
All right. I want to remind everyone this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is also brought to you by I'm all for progress. I'm all for change.
Gavin just texted me while you were doing that ad read because I was checking my phone. Mm-hmm. What did you text me, Gavin?
Bitch.
That's not very nice.
I text a bitch.
One time, Gavin wrote something very obscene on my hand in a Sharpie when we were at a party.
Oh. What do you write?
I can't say it.
You can. It's the podcast.
No, I can't.
Really?
This is a
That
word
offensive.
I can't say.
Well, I was clearly writing something that she wouldn't want anyone to read.
Like, were you not paying attention as he was writing it? Like you weren't looking?
I just sometimes let Gavin just do shit, and
You have
This
the
was-
trust,
this was a
and I
mistake.
abuse it constantly.
constantly.
We had these.
Were you wearing a beanie the whole time?
Yeah.
Speaking of observant,
No.
Yeah, the entire time.
yeah, he had the little tuft of hair coming out the front there.
Is there a cricket over there?
Maybe
Yeah, it's cricket central.
possible.
today.
It's cricket time of year.
One of the things we got when we moved into the Congress office was we got these shitty. I'm amazed that they still exist to this day.
Blue lamps.
Red IKEA lockers. We got them.
Oh yeah, those are from the Congress office.
Yeah, and those are back
Over
over
here.
around the corner. Now
Who
they're
was it
now
that had
back
to-
all the way over there.
Was
Wait,
it
they're
Jeff
still
who had
here?
to run into them at full speed?
I don't know.
That was
And
for
like
the
every-
censored short, right?
And one of the helmets on the top fell on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we did a short where we had these gold letters, or we had gold letters for some reason that were stick-on letters, and we'd use most of them. We only had a few left, and I was like trying to make words that whatever letters I had left, I was like, what can I do with this? So on Jeff's locker on the inside, when you opened it, with the letters I had left, the only thing I could spell was wet cunt, and I put that.
Oh, is that why it says wet cunt? I never knew that was why.
And I thought it would embarrass Jeff. He never took it off. Like 5 years, he would open that locker
yeah.
every day.
Of course not.
And he
it
had
was-
that as his text tone for a while.
That shit
too.
would not embarrass Jeff.
I never
Absolutely
knew
not.
that was the reason.
Yeah, that's why I just
Okay.
stuck it on his locker because those were the only letters. There's a couple other letters like an X and a Q, but I can't do anything with those.
Yeah, those are worthless letters.
are
They don't-
shit
they don't
letters.
count. One other food story about New York, and then I'll be done. So one of the other meals we had, we went to this Korean restaurant, and they had, it was really good food. But one of the things they had on the menu, like I was looking for a bev, and
Cheeky
they
bev?
Just
they,
a single bev.
They had a drink that they described as unfiltered chunky rice beer.
Unfiltered chunk. That sounds pretty good.
And I was like,
Sounds like super
I was
solid.
like, yes, I'm gonna try that.
Good for
Like
you.
a cup of puke.
It was not a good texture,
But the taste?
but
It's
it
like
was
that 100%
good.
food stuff that I drink. It's like just
Yeah, just
grit.
That's
chunky.
You're just
You
eating
just
seeds.
fucking chew your way to drunkenness.
What did you have today? Soil or something?
Soylent.
Soylent?
That's actually, I would say, the more popular brand of those food replacement things.
Comes in that little white bottle, right?
I got a thing called Coffeeist. Once again, I go to the sales office. I was just about to order some of this stuff online. I go in the sales office. They got fucking 8 boxes of this stuff just sitting in the sales office. Like, please take them. They keep sending us this stuff. If you can take some, please take a
just
couple
like
boxes.
as samples or something?
Yeah, or just whatever. It's like, I'm always wondering, what am I missing out on, Gavin? I always see these other YouTube people. They like have fucking mail day where they're opening all these packages and shit. It's like somehow that stuff just like never makes its way to me. I just like, I wonder what am I doing wrong. It's
Maybe
like,
they burn it when it arrives.
yeah, they just like, yeah, I'll take this. I had a funny thing where I was happy that we finished all of the obligations or commitments, I should say, for the Laser Team crowdfunding campaign. Michael's Game Time came out yesterday on the website. It'll probably be out on YouTube, I guess, today, on Monday. And that was the last thing. So that got us to 100% on our report card. I was super happy about that. So I went to make myself a drink, and I went to go make myself a Makers and Coke. Didn't have any makers. So I had a bottle of Jack Daniels I hadn't opened. I picked it up, and I go, oh, there's a note attached to this. And it was a note from a guy named Derek C21, I believe. He's on the website. Derek with a CK, D-E-R-C-K, C21. And
D-E-R-C-K.
yeah, it's weird. Derek. Derek. D-E-R-E-C-K.
Okay, there you go.
It's gone too long now.
Yeah.
No, it's good. We're fine. So then I got it. I go, oh, I haven't, I didn't know this was given to me by a fan. And so I read the note, and it was from RTX 2014. It was actually congratulating me on the end of the Laser Team crowdfunding campaign. I was drinking it to celebrate the end of the thing. But it's like, that's how little I drink at my house, Gus. I had a bottle of Jack Daniels that had been sitting there for 2 years.
From before we shot Laser Team.
Completely unopened.
That's crazy.
Pretty nuts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I even wrote him on his profile on the site, and I said, I literally just got around to opening the bottle of Jack Daniels you gave me. Thank you so much for the lovely note.
Did he respond?
I don't know. I looked at it yesterday.
I did a thing recently where because I take pictures of everything I'm sent, even if I can't keep it. So I'll still have it digitally. And I took I had a picture of the first thing that I ever got sent since I moved back to the US, and it was the Queen, the solar Queen that waved, and it came with a little note.
Oh,
it was
the one
like,
that just goes like this.
Yeah, it was like very early 2012, and I was like, I'm going to tweet this, and I linked the person who tweeted to me, and they were like, oh my god, I completely forgotten about that. I didn't remember sending it to me.
Because
like, they were like blown away that I still had it.
February 2012 or something like that.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I didn't actually tweet it at the time. I forgot to thank the person for sending it to me. So I was basically just 4 years late on the thank you.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Go
So
for
you and I have both been here for 5 years-ish, almost. In February.
Well,
it'll be
next
5
year
years.
I will, yeah.
Does it feel like more or less time that you've actually been employed here for you?
I feel like I've been here less time.
Let's go back and look at those photos with you guys that we took outside of the...
The Congress office? That was a delayed reaction.
That's the first time I met Gavin.
Miles was tweeting that
In person.
behind the scenes of on the Halo 2.
That's so weird to me. Like, he freaked out about it. I'm just like, it's just a video from 10 years ago. That's all it is.
It's longer than 10 years.
Is it? Halo 2?
Yeah.
Halo 3 is probably 10 years ago at this point.
I think you look the most different, Gus, out of everyone.
I've gotten better with age.
I'd say you
Like
look
the
the
fine
most
wine.
identical to everyone.
What?
That's sad. The least change is what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did I say?
The most identical to everyone?
That's not what I mean, is it?
Yeah, no, that's not at all. That was before the Buda apartment. So that had to have been a long time ago.
Whoa.
Yeah, because that was that was when we were still in the spare bedroom. So that must have been 04? Anyway, he's not listening.
He agrees.
I first came in 2006 to hang out. So a decade.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it's a good decade.
It's a good decade. That was when you wrote on the mirror at Acon. Do you remember that?
No. What? I wrote on a mirror?
We shared a room, and you left before I did, and you wrote "by Gavino" with soap on the mirror.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I did do that. I used to fuck with you a lot.
I remember
in
we went
hotel rooms.
to PAX East. It was right after you were hired, so I guess you were here in February, and this was March or April. And you hadn't been, like, on camera yet, I guess, a lot. So they gave you a camera to film behind the scenes at PAX and, like, walk around PAX to do things.
Brandon did, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, I don't think you were getting recognized very often, and you weren't actually in the booth meeting people. You were just sent to go film at PAX.
We used to send Gavin to set up the booth.
Yeah,
Me too.
back in the day. Yeah, Brandon sent me and he sent me to film the panel.
Yeah.
So I was on the stage, but I was just filming it. And that was the panel where Monty punched a lemon.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was.
It was
Oh my
PAX
God.
East. Yeah, it was forever ago.
2012?
Or was
it
that the
12?
one?
It was earlier than that.
I mean, this one I'm talking about was 2012.
And I think that was also the one where that dude took his shirt off.
Great panels.
Oh, here's that video.
How'd your panel go at PAX this time?
Yeah, I do not look the same.
You know what it looks like? You know what that photo looks like?
You can see your Adam's apple.
You know what it looks like? It looks like if Rooster Teeth became important on like a global level, and they made like an exhibit in a museum, that would be you. Like that was like that's how wrong they got you. It was
Jason.
that.
What is that?
Burns.
Look at that handsome devil wearing his Onion Creek golf club hat.
You look the same.
Yeah, I just have a beard
You
now.
just have more of a beard.
That might have been the first video I ever saw of you in real life.
Of me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw Gus in the Apple Switch thing.
Ah, yeah.
Although you're kind of in that, in the outtakes, but
I saw you on Skype
yeah.
at like 2 a.m.
Do you remember that thing you did
I don't remember anything.
for the Halo 3 Legendary, where you like push Jeff?
You know, like we go to kiss and then I smack him in the face.
Did you actually spit on him?
Yeah, when I pushed him into the video game, Gavin?
Because you flobbed in his face and then and he like grabs it and pulls it. That's one of my favorite videos.
I don't think we told him I was gonna push him.
It looked like you properly flobbed
I nailed him.
right in
Yeah.
his face.
Yeah, there was not faked. That was 100% full on.
Spit. I thought spitting in his face would throw him off guard, and then I shoved him as hard as I could.
Do you ever spit on people and attack them anymore? Is that like in your past only now?
So bad. No.
That's back in the days when he would put his toe in people's burritos.
Yeah, and they would fucking clip their fingernails into the
Burrito.
desks that I paid for.
So how old were you in
12.
that video we just showed?
26.
Dude, I was 30s.
So you are younger than I am now.
That's crazy.
That's mental.
You're the same. Nope, you're younger than I'm 27 now. I forgot.
Yep.
Am I 27?
That is filth.
We could have been hanging. You could have been hanging out with that guy.
We are now.
Ugh, so crazy.
I used to hang out with you a lot, and now I don't. I never see you.
Is it because you don't share an office?
Hide.
Yeah, we don't even share a building anymore. We never have lunch.
You were supposed to come over today, and you fucking ditched me.
It's true, I was.
Why don't I get invited over? Bitch.
You can come over.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Oh, come over. I'll show you what I was going to show her.
I got Matt and I have a weekly lunch together on Tuesdays. And tomorrow might be the first time we do it in about 6 weeks. We're supposed to do it every week.
Too busy?
What's that? Yeah, just either one of us out of town or Matt's just, phenomenally busy. So.
You should spit on him and shove him.
Spit on Hullum. That's dangerous
Is
business.
that online everywhere? Anywhere?
Well,
Why is that dangerous business?
Spitting on Matt? Matt's scrappy.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
What do
it's
you get you in a headlock?
I don't know. I've never known Matt to be in a fight the entire time I've known him. I've known him a lot.
It'd be cool. I
I've
bet
known
he'd
him a long
win.
time. I had a great time today. I got to invite my friend from high school, Darren Henley, a guy, I talked about it. I'm going to probably put it in the vlog. He's a guy who, he bought me my first video camera I ever owned. Back when it was like a Video 8 camera. And it was like,
For your
what, though?
birthday or something?
just like for me to shoot movies on.
Were you jerking him off or something?
No, I don't know if I don't know if I'm at liberty to say, but Darren had a lot of money at a young age, and he was very like accommodating to his friends, probably more so than he should have been.
Why don't you buy me video cameras?
And so he loaned me the money. He didn't buy me a video camera.
Oh, now
So
the story changes.
I had to pay. Well,
Why
he
don't
didn't
you
buy it. He
buy me
bought
video?
the fucking camera,
Give me
and I
Phantom.
did jerk him off, but I had to pay him back the money. So he bought it for me. But that was when we were in college. But I've known him since I was like a freshman in high school. I've known him for a very long time. In the video we tried to calculate how long it had been, and we stopped. It was like,
So
this is getting
what are you
depressing.
going to buy him?
So I treated him to something a lot of fun, which was yes, Barbara, a hand job. And
I wasn't on camera on purpose.
I brought him over to stage 2, and we played John Elway's team quarterback together. We hadn't played. I used to go every day after high school with him. We'd go to the West Oaks Mall, and we would play John Elway's team quarterback. And somebody on Twitter, or who listens to the podcast, got hold of me on Twitter, told me there was a listing, and I bought the John Elway's
You fucking bought it?
cabinet. It's over in
How
stage
much
2.
was that?
You've been looking for that for years?
It was $1,400 including shipping.
Wow.
Maybe it was $1,600 including shipping. $1,600 including
Cheaper than a DDR machine.
Is it? Yeah. So, this thing's
Christ.
massive. It's huge. It was worth every penny just to be sitting there with my buddy Darren from high school, and we played like an entire game, which takes forever because it just would like just sit there and eat quarters from you the entire time. And I sat there and played the whole thing, and we had a blast today. It was fun. It was so great. It was so awesome. I'm so happy.
That's
right
really
now.
cool.
I should thank the person who found it for me.
Why didn't he
I'll
come
be
watch
sure to
the
thank them
podcast?
next time. What?
Why didn't he come watch the podcast?
Oh, I don't know, because he's got a family. He went home and
see what you do
He
for
went
him.
home and familied.
Wait, does he live here?
Darren, yeah, he lives in Austin. We went to UT together. He's
was
probably
that?
one of the reasons I went to UT.
And
When
you
was
have-
the last time you saw him?
My college buddies were just in town. We got a buddy of mine. There's like 6 of us. We all still hang out together. I didn't get to hang out with anybody this weekend because I was at the Homestar Runner concert, and then I went to PAX as well.
By
But
the
they were
way,
all in town for
so jealous of
the
you.
Notre Dame football game versus UT. It's They're big. They're my football buddies. Like if they come in town, Jeff comes in town. Jeff Landis. He spells his name Geof.
Okay.
No second F. So like it's so funny because the whole like Griffith, like people misspell Griff with 2 F's. I've known a Jeff and a Jeff with 1 F my whole life, and they're both Jeffrey.
You also know a Jeff that's Jef.
Oh, I do know a Jeff that's Jef. Yeah, the guy who runs amplifiers is Jef. But it's so funny because I said to Jeff Ramsey, I almost said Jeff Fink. It's like really going back in time.
Yeah, where you're watching the old fucking Halo 2 video.
I had Jeff Fink on the brain. Jeff Ramsey. I was talking. I got a friend. He's coming in town. His name is also Jeff, but he spells it Geof, 1 F, and he goes Goff. I'm like, fuck you, dude. It's like that's how people say your name. It's like he like totally scoffed at my friend who
He joffed at it.
Yeah, Jeff is my buddy. He's a doctor. He was a guy doing the pre-med school when I was pre-med for 4.5 years of my life or 4 years of my life.
So when you hang out with, do you just give each other wedgies and stuff? Do you just do like school stuff?
What do you do with Dan besides suck each other off?
I mean, we weren't friends at school.
Well,
Oh, totally different.
I don't
Totally
have any,
different.
I don't have any school friends.
So what kind of school? What form was it when you were wedging each other constantly? We're just guys I know from college. We just hang out. Is that okay with
weren't
you?
you like a bro in like a bro house, bro?
Frat?
Yeah. I was
You
in
were a
like
frat guy?
I was in the world's worst fraternity. Like it was just like we got kicked off campus because okay. When I went to school, I always want to like turn to Patrick whenever I talk about something that happened in the 90s. And Patrick, you can back me up on this. There was a period in the 90s where it was extraordinarily politically correct. And everything went super political correct for about 3 or 4 years. That's exactly the time that I went to college. And now we're back around to that again. But back then we actually called it political correctness because it didn't have a negative term from it. I think that period of time is when political correctness got a negative connotation to it. I mean, being politically correct is not a negative term. It's like you're being correct. But now it's like, oh, you're being so PC.
Right.
To the point where they made movies about it. John Favreau has a movie called PCU that he was in.
Forgot about that movie. Jesus.
Yeah, and it's like it was a big deal. It was like people were signing contracts to have sex. You had to have like consent forms before you would get into bed with somebody. Like all this stuff. It was
Super
like
romantic.
It was like it was a way swing to the PC side of things, and then things swing way back to the left. And now I would argue they've swung even harder back.
So you would just sign to say you want to shag?
Yeah,
Can they forge that?
there were colleges that had that.
Wouldn't it be better to have like a sex pin that no one else knows?
Let's talk about that. The worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life is the fact that we now have chip reading credit card machines in
Yeah.
America.
You've done it wrong.
I fucking hate these
You've done
things.
it wrong, though.
These chip reading cards readers, they've got to go.
Why?
Because
They're
you never
the
know,
worst.
You never know which one to use.
It's the worst.
You just it's always
You've
pin.
got the good
No.
tech now. You can have it so that a signature goes away, chip and pin, but you do chip and sign, which completely annihilate. Why even use the chip?
Dude,
Why bother?
I would be happy if it was just that. It's not that. It's the, here, swipe, no chip, then sign. Don't sign there, sign this piece of paper. It's like,
I went to a
can we just fucking standardize how people use credit cards in this country? Every time I go to a fucking thing,
too
they
late.
tape some goddamn piece of it off. We don't do it that way. We need your fucking ballpoint signature here. It's bullshit.
I went to a restaurant the other day.
Spitting so
and,
much.
when it was time to pay, the waitress brought me the terminal to the table.
Where's this?
It was in New York. And I put the chip in and complete the transaction.
Is this for your $140
Then there's an
kebab?
error on the screen. It says, please swipe card. I was like, oh. She's like, oh, it does that sometimes. So I take it out, I swipe it, go through the process again. Then it says, error. She's
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, sometimes this terminal does that. Hold on, let me look at the other one.
Go
I was like,
smash it on the floor.
You pay for dinner 3 times.
And she's like, here, the receipt prints out. She's like, look, you can see, it was, it didn't go through. And then she goes and gets another one.
Chip
And then
and
the
pin.
chip works on that one.
You need the pin bit. That's the important
Chip
part.
and
We
pin.
should standardize. We should chip everywhere or whatever.
No.
No, I mean it's too late
Digital,
now. It's
NFC.
too late. It will
Use
be
the fucking Apple
It
Pay.
will be contactless and phones.
Whenever
You're
I
too
can,
late.
I'll
You're
do
too
that.
late.
By the way, I read an interesting conspiracy theory about the lack of the earphone jack on the iPhone 7.
It's not interesting. It's a stupid conspiracy theory.
Oh, is it?
I think it is.
I want to hear it though.
I want to judge.
That you can no longer use Square or Stripe. You can't put those peripherals into swipe cards in it.
That's what we mentioned earlier.
So you have to go through Apple Pay. Oh, I'm sorry if that was brought up
You'll
earlier.
be able to, they'll have a lightning version of it, or they'll have
Yeah.
A Bluetooth version?
Bluetooth,
I
yeah.
just hope that it works the exact same way. Like, you know how when you tug out the
Tug it.
headphones and it pauses what you're listening to.
Whenever I tug it out, somebody buys me a video camera.
In fact, the chip reader for Square, I believe, is Bluetooth.
What? Sorry, my stupid joke. What were you saying?
It was not stupid, Bernie.
Thanks.
The chip reader for Square is already a Bluetooth device, so it
Okay.
doesn't matter.
The whole chip thing, done. Get it away. I also have another problem where every time you buy something online and they call you and they're like, this is a fraudulent purchase. Did you buy something from Amazon? That's very unlike you. You only buy something on Amazon once every fucking day. So I go, yes.
Once a day, Bernie?
Clear this thing. It's good.
3 times.
And then one time they were like, we had this fraudulent charge. They called me because I had bought a bunch of stuff. I think I talked about this on the last podcast. And they said, oh, you also have a charge here from Nepal. And I'm like, Nepal, the country? And they're like, yes, are you in Nepal? And I'm like, no, I'm not.
No.
I go, I don't recognize that. I was trying to rack my brain. I thought maybe I bought something on Etsy,
Oh, God.
that the person was shipping it from Nepal, but Etsy charges directly as Etsy on your bill. So I'm like, no, this is mine. What do? They fucking cancel my credit card and issue a new number to me.
But how much was it for?
Which is I've already been through this math. It was $50. I've spent more than $50 of my time now finding out all the places where I had the old fucking credit card number in like automatic billing and all that other shit and getting rid of it. And then I have a second credit card which I was relying on. That same thing. 3 days later, new fucking
Nepal?
credit card
Oh.
coming in.
Damn.
Was there a place you used it where it was stolen? Like the number was stolen?
I wish I knew. I'd go fight them. I did use it on Etsy like 4 times. Remember that bottle opener, the whistle bottle opener that I had? The one that Blaine thought was
I
a
don't
whistle?
imagine you shopping on Etsy.
I like Etsy, man.
Etsy's good for
I like
gifts.
unique stuff.
Yeah,
It's good for gifts for your bird.
I like unique things.
Yeah.
Like I think Etsy has unique stuff on it. I've gotten some stuff on Etsy that's fucking garbage.
You should tell Aaron about it.
Like what?
Oh, just like lamps or like, and it looks like some guy like literally didn't even know how to use like a miter saw and just like cut this lamp and it's like glued together and like some nails and nails coming through the other side. It's
Don't you
garbage.
look at the reviews and stuff of these sellers?
They have reviews on Etsy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I look at them a lot.
Why are you buying a lamp on lamp on Etsy?
I'm gonna talk about something else.
Go for it.
Fuck the lamp. I saw an awful story. Speaking
the
of buying,
most polite
speaking
derail.
of buying stuff, I saw this awful story the other day. Can we pull up the image to show them?
Is it somebody using a chip reader?
Someone complained to IKEA in Norway that they bought this stool at IKEA and they were sitting on it in the shower washing themselves when one of their balls went through one of the holes and got stuck on the bottom. I guess
can see it happening.
He said the warm water made his ball expand
Oh,
or something.
no.
And that he was just sitting there stuck on this stool in his shower.
That is a fucking delicate operation. You can't see, but I'm actually covering my balls out of like solidarity.
That is dangerous. Like, if he loses blood flow, he could lose a bollock.
So
in that.
let me describe what you're for those of you listening to the IKEA podcast. To listen to the audio podcast, it's of course a shitty European shower. Which, by the way, fucking catch up in shower technology. What you mean? Yeah, look at that. That looks like you're in a fucking RV.
Some people have small bathrooms.
I
You need a
know.
small shower.
Build a higher
For a second,
building.
I
You
thought that
fucking
little-
primitives.
I thought that round thing was his ball on the floor there.
Popped out.
I was just like, Jesus Christ!
And it basically looks like it's just a red circle with some holes punched in it.
There's 8 moments where his
It almost
ball
looks like a
could've-
button you'd find on a
Perfect.
jacket.
Perfect ball
IKEA
size
recommended
holes.
that he either remove the stool from the shower or put a towel over it before he sits on it again.
Yeah, good fucking call. The neighbors, I just heard this. Ah! The guy was fine.
Oh, do you think he got
How
up
do you
and
think you
the
do
stool
that?
came
How
up?
do you think you do that? You're reaching under, right? Because you're reaching under the stool, blind.
What do you mean? Why are you reaching under?
Because you got to push the ball
Your
up.
ball's hanging out
You're
there.
like you're under the stool and you're just feeling around down there.
Now,
like,
I know that would
mush,
have been
mush.
that would have been painful, but I imagine that felt really cool.
Nope.
Like the
No.
stretched
Nope.
ball. It would have been all like, oh.
God.
Yeah,
I'll
that's-
just imagine some fucking you ask your like significant other for help and they just come in and just go boom, like just give it a flick.
So the,
Oh, that seems so awful.
go
the
purple.
English translation, I'll read here. Sitting there and noticing the accident, I bent down to see what the fuck happened. I realized the little nutter has got stuck.
Little nutter.
This is apparently the hot water causes nether regions to expand. And then, quote, the water turned cold by itself, so I started freezing. The water got cold. Even more cold than my mother-in-law's smile when I married her daughter.
Oh, this guy's a fucking creative
Okay,
writer.
get to the point.
It's like the guy who didn't. shave
Well,
his ass.
when you get Barbara, I'm gonna describe something that happens with testicles. Is when you get in cold water, your scrotum goes like this. Your scrotum goes because it wants to keep your balls close to your
When it
body.
gets cold.
Yeah, because it's trying to keep your balls warm so they get the sperm only live in like a certain temperature.
Yeah.
Seems
So
like the wrong
when the
way
cold
to do
water
that.
started, it would have started to retract. That would have been like.
Uh-oh.
If it's retracting faster than it's shrinking, then you're building pressure. Oh man, forget about it. What's the closest you come to doing something like that?
I was going to say, Connor Hughes on Twitter, who's that? Connor Rhea, said, I have that chair in my apartment. I will never look at it the same again.
What's the IKEA name for that chair?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it a Stufen?
Hey, Jeff finally got back to me. He says he's not going to kill himself. And he says the gemologist thing, he definitely remembers it.
All right.
Definitely sounds
I'm
familiar.
sorry, you both are incorrect. But I mean,
that was on a podcast.
my wife has never been a
Look, the audience
gemologist.
will
She was
find it.
taking a gemology course.
That
So
may be the case.
people have listened to this podcast. I mean,
Are you saying you know my wife better than me?
I'm just
I mean,
saying.
what the fuck are you saying honestly
a
here?
story that you told.
No.
You might have lied.
No, I did not
So
lie.
what if we pull up?
That was so fast that they pulled up that camera.
Yeah, the fucking Arnie camera.
What if we pull up the video proof of you talking about this
Please pull it up.
and
Oh.
play
What
it?
if you don't?
What if we pull it up and we film your face as you listen to it?
What if
Speaking
you
of
don't?
which, do you guys see that video, Burnie? I know you saw this. Someone cut a video together of you explaining the cow counting story.
That's what I'm saying.
4 years ago.
Yeah. Well, the reason I got the John Elway quarterback machine was I totally cheated because I've been looking on eBay for years or things. So I mentioned it on like 3 or 4
Marius.
podcasts, hoping that someone would find it. Somebody was listening to the podcast from like 5 weeks prior. They heard that. They go, oh, I wonder if that thing's on eBay. They looked it up, which I've done a billion times.
Yeah.
A listing had just started 5 minutes before she looked it up. And so she
Wow.
sent it to me. I probably bought the thing 7 minutes after the listing went on.
Wow.
Because I bought it instantaneously.
Just because she happened to be listening to that podcast.
I probably typed in the amount 7 minutes after it went up, and then it takes me like 5 minutes to click on a purchase that big. I was just like, and Ashley just he was
a big
just like,
moment.
you've been looking for this thing for 8 years. Buy the fucking thing. I'm like, I can't do it.
I do that with like equipment that I want to buy. Like if I want to buy a new camera, I'll
Yeah.
think about it for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
But even still, the moment where you click buy is like,
Yeah.
that's like $3,000 or
And
something.
it's like you're making money from. I'm not gonna make money from a John Elway's quarterback machine, but
You can take it to RTX and charge people a quarter to play it.
Yeah.
You make your money back slowly.
the cow counting story was they were calling me out for telling a story literally 200 podcasts ago, and I told the story again.
Which is
and
what, like
you
4
fuckers,
years?
I'm upset with you two because I asked before I told the story. I said, "Have I told the story before?" He goes, "I don't know if you've told in the podcast." You, Barbara, you go, "No, the story about Greg Kinnear, I've never heard that before."
You're not
I
mad at
didn't
me.
say no, did I?
You were like, no. And the whole time you reacted to the story, I'm like, wow, I've never heard the story. I see that video the guy made. You're having the exact same reactions. You had heard the story and didn't even remember the fucking story.
He has the exact same reaction. What
I
he
remembered
says.
The
vaguely you
story
telling me
being
the story.
told.
I didn't remember the details. I was
But did you see
4 years apart.
You said the exact same thing though.
I'm the same person.
Fair
You
play.
said how it's so cool how like one decision could make that.
I saw-
an
I think
effect
the
in your
same
life.
way that I did for the thing is a lot
Oh,
of
I
people
know.
binge the podcasts. They'll listen through all of them in the span of months. For us, each one is a week apart and it spans multiple years. It's impossible to remember what was said on them and what was said off them.
Here's the
Right,
thing.
like imagine trying to determine, like if you're sitting around with your friends, like imagine trying to remember every conversation you've had with your friend
Yeah.
at their house, but not your house.
Right. And also, like say I've watched The Office. I watched The Office years ago. I'm watching it again now. It's making me laugh again. I don't remember it all.
Right.
It's funny again.
Still funny.
It's the same with stories.
All right, well, it's
Thanks,
about
bud.
time to,
No.
to
Oh,
wrap
I was
this
about
up.
to open a beer.
Yeah, but we got a post show still.
Oh,
Yet another benefit if you're a first member.
People have asked what my fraternity did to get kicked off campus.
Oh.
What happened was, and this is, I'm not making light of any tragedy in anyone's life, but a guy went to a keg party, and he got drunk at a keg party. He was probably 20. College students tend to drink even though they're not of age. Go fucking figure. He got very, 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 very drunk. He went to the UT campus and he climbed up the fountain with all the horses in it.
Yes.
He got up on top of the front horse's head, all the way in front, jumped off into the fucking
Holy
fountain,
crap.
which is about 6 inches deep, and he paralyzed himself. And so him and his family sued the fraternity. So the ruling was fraternities could no longer have keg parties. That was their big determination. We all had to get this thing called, it was called FIPG, I think it was like Fraternal Insurance Protection Group or something like that. And we all had to buy, it was an enormous amount of money. We had like the Animal House frat, basically. I mean, our house was falling down all the time. I have to show you. We shot our movie, The Schedule there. I used it as like the projects. Like it was just like so run down. And we couldn't afford the insurance. And also it was like everyone else on campus, any other organization could hold a keg party. Just fraternities couldn't. We had to do everything in canned beer, which was like 10 times as much. We had to card people. We had to give out wristbands and all this stuff. It became like super over because one guy had this horrible accident, granted, but it's like, people have accidents when they do things when they're drunk. That happens. And it's not everybody else's fault.
Did he ever get his movement back?
I don't know. I don't ever know what happened to the guy. I do know guys that were sued though over it. I knew guys that like I didn't know them personally, but they were friends of friends, and they were
they sued
they were
over
in
that?
college and they're getting sued for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. Because they threw a party and a guy got too drunk and jumped into a fountain. Nobody pushed him in the fountain or anything like that. Guy just drank too much and had an accident. And anyway, so our fraternity was just like, we're not going to do that. We're going to have keg parties anyway. So they kicked us off campus, basically.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
They're like, beat it.
I also want to mention a lot of people are asking me about the shirt. This is going to be in the store next week. I have my very first clothing line in the Rooster Teeth store starting September 22nd. So it's this shirt and 3 other shirts.
So you and Jeff have clothing lines. When am I getting mine?
Well, here's what I said to Gavin.
I shot myself in the foot. Didn't I?
Because Gavin's line is all Rooster Teeth clothes.
All I wear is
the
Rooster
logo.
Teeth.
Do yours have that in the yoke?
Yeah, they have all
Isn't that
of them
cool?
have that in the
That's
yoke.
pretty cool.
What does it stand for? Big dicks?
I like to think
Barbara
that's a
Dunkelman.
BB. So Burnie Burns.
That's a BD.
I'll live vicariously through Barbara.
And I'll show the other ones too. Give a brief look. It's another t-shirt. And there's a sweater since it's getting cold. Stop it. And then this one is available in both men's and women's cut. It's tanked up. It says "Suns out, puns out."
You got
See how much
a
Gavin
half-hearted
wants it?
laugh from off screen.
It's
So,
really interesting because the feedback we've gotten on those is that guys are asking, will these be available in guy cuts?
Yeah, which is the complete
Isn't it
opposite
funny
of
how that's turned?
what women have been asking for years in our store.
Yep. I would buy Suns Out, Puns Out in a heartbeat.
Yeah?
I think that's a great shirt.
Well, thanks, Bernie.
I can't find the story of that, but if you want to look at the fountain the guy jumped off of to get a feel for it, it's called Littlefield Fountain, and it's on the University of Texas.
And it still has the horses and stuff.
Yep.
Well, yeah. I mean, they didn't change the fountain.
right.
Yeah, notice they didn't blame the fountain.
Okay, well, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Yes.
Love you.
Bye.
Nice pussy.
Nice pussy. Like